All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the ASAP Afternoon Blitz, Monday, January 9th, 2023. Got a lot going on. NFL regular season ended yesterday. Had some interesting games yesterday. The Lions knocked the Packers out of the playoffs, put Seattle in. Too bad
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield had to choke a little bit in that Rams Seattle game, or the Lions would have made the playoffs. But no, pretty great day of sports. And then, like Jay had mentioned earlier before we got on, got a national championship game tonight. But joined by Jay McLovin. How's it going, Jay?
It is going good, man. Honestly, it's going real good. I really enjoy it. Like you said last night, that the Lions and Packers going at it. Just an amazing. And it's, the fact that the Lions were like, hey, we're not going to just lay down. We're just going to play this all the way to the end. And they got the win. Man, I couldn't ask for anything better. Could not ask for anything better except for Stat Guy to be on the show. And here he is.
Also joined by Nate. How's it going, Nate?
Oh, it's been going pretty good. I've just been all over Twitter today posting some of these news with firings and all these coaches being interviewed. So I've been having a busy day so far.
All right. Hey, it's good to stay busy. How's it going, Stat Guy?
It's going, Chris. How's everyone doing?
Fair to middling. It's a lefty day, so not too bad. You?
It's doing good, actually.
That's what I'm talking about, Stat Guy. That's what I'm talking about. Of course, none of us on this panel, all of us are in that fantasy league, and none of us won.
I haven't been active.
Cheated.
Hey, Jay, remember the one that I said that I was in, that I thought I was in yours?
Yeah.
I ended up getting screwed.
What?
I was down by 15, and I had T. Higgins and Joe Mixon playing when the game got close.
Oh, damn. So you didn't get anything for those guys.
Nope.
I think that's, and that's the thing. How does fantasy football really deal with something like that, especially in these leagues where you got to pay money to get into, or you got money riding on these things? How do they deal with that?
They should have just taken what the player averages each week, and that's what you should have got credit for.
I can see that being a viable option. I can see that. Because you got to imagine they got to do something. I mean, otherwise there's a lot of damn money on fantasy football. You know what I mean? A lot of money.
Yeah, that's what they said too. That's what they said. Vegas lost $15 million on fantasy last week because of that game.
Yeah, I bet they did. I bet they did
too. I had Bills defense, Stephon Diggs, and Josh Allen.
I mean, I could only imagine. I would have been like, look, guys, I'm not telling you that you have to play the game right now, but you got to do a makeup game because there's a lot of money on this stuff. Damn, what a time, man. But in any event, I still felt like the Bengals came out and played a good game. Bills came out, played a good game. Lions, Pack. I mean, all these, you could tell that these guys were fighting for their playoff lives, especially Jacksonville. And the way they played the Titans, I mean, damn, I enjoyed every minute of it. How about you guys? But so far, everything is looking pretty good, and I think everything's looking to really definitely mount up for tonight. For tonight, we get the creme de la creme national championship. Go TCU.
No, Jay, you're right. There was a lot of good games, but the team that surprised me yesterday was your Cowboys. What happened to the Cowboys?
I didn't want to talk about it. Since you want to go there, that's fine. Let's just rip the damn Band-Aid off while we get. I'll tell you what happened. Dak Prescott happened. I don't know why the man just can't take care of the ball. I don't know, but he threw, as you saw, he threw several. He even threw it to the same place twice. He threw it the first time. The defender dropped the interception. He goes right back to the next play, right back to the next same person, and what happens? Oh, interception. Could I be any more freaking predictable?
You had to give them their chance to catch the ball, man.
I'm just saying. Hey, if you want to know what happened, that's what happened. And if they don't fire Mike McCarthy after this and get rid of Dak Prescott, I'm going to go find somebody who can.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch a lot of the Cowboys game because I was.
You didn't miss nothing.
I was at a wrestling show yesterday, but
Yeah, he didn't miss anything. It looked horrible. You missed out. They made Howell look like the next best thing since sliced spread. They made Howell look like Tom Brady. It was.
Now my team went no better. Hell, guy missed times jumping for an interception and it goes through his hands and right to the Texan for a touchdown.
Can we stay on that game for a second, Chris? Do you think Lovie Smith got fired because he didn't get the number 1 pick?
God, you know what? I was kind of wondering the same thing. I was like, what is Houston doing?
Because they fired David Culley after 1 year, and that was just I think he knew he was more of a 1-year casualty just because of what happened with Bill O'Brien and everything that went in place with Deshaun Watson. I think he knew that he was like a 1-year casualty type of coach. But they gave Lovie Smith a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
So you have to wonder if him not getting that number 1 pick is why he got fired. And if that's the case, if I'm Lovie Smith, I'm going after the Houston Texans organization for that.
But you know what? But at the end of the day, though, I don't know how much that's really going to hurt them because the Texans need a quarterback, and we all know that the Bears already have their quarterback. So unless they trade out,
here's the problem, though. Who else needs a quarterback? Who else needs a quarterback?
Oh, there's other teams that need a quarterback.
Seattle needs
you're saying they're going to trade out, right?
Seattle needs a quarterback too, and Seattle has 2 first-round picks. If Chicago's going to trade with anybody, it's going to be Seattle because they get 2 first-round picks out of that, and then Seattle could take the quarterback that Houston wants.
Yeah, and that's my whole point. So what I'm saying is, you think Seattle's going to trade up?
I think Seattle trades up because then the Bears will end up with number 4 and number 12 out of the trade.
I mean, it's plausible, and I think, and if that's the case, then who goes first, number 1?
Bryce Young, and that's who Houston wants.
I think Houston will be just fine taking C.J. Stroud. I'd rather see them get C.J. Stroud in my book, honestly. I think C.J. Stroud has a lot more intangibles to work with. So the Bears could wind up doing the Texans a favor.
Could, but yeah, no, I agree. I was thinking that same thing last night when I heard that he was fired. Is like
because they said they literally landed back in Houston. He literally walked off the plane, got to the Houston Texans facility, and within 5 minutes of getting to the facility, they pulled him into the office and fired him.
The thing is, I wonder does he have any proof where if he files a grievance that he can prove that's. You know what I mean? That's what happened because it's going to basically be their word against
yeah,
him.
But you have to look at 10 minutes after you arrive in the facility, you're getting fired. You didn't even make it through the damn day. That literally.
I understand what you're saying.
That literally pretty much shows you that the owner had his mind made up when they boarded that plane to fly back to Houston.
I mean, unless you believe that they actually thought Lovie Smith was going to be the long-term solution from the beginning.
No, I
mean,
he knew that.
So Denver the next day after that Rams game, and he blew a bigger lead. Texans even won that game.
Me personally, I wouldn't be surprised they fired Lovie Smith because they really want to go after Sean Payton. Who's to say they're not trying to go after that guy and make him come in? You know?
I have a feeling that Brian Flores is going to end up in Houston.
I hope he does. Hey, I was telling him the last time when Flores was available and they wound up going with Lovie Smith. They actually brought Flores in and he left without a contract. And I'm like, what the hell y'all doing? Never let that guy leave without a contract. And I really thought that the Texans would have made a stronger push for Brian Flores.
I think the Texans are going to fire up the whole football world and they're going to hire McCown.
God, if they do that, that'd be horrible.
They've been talking about hiring him for the last couple times.
Yeah, they have.
I have a feeling that Cleveland's going to go after Flores, but as a DC, as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Cleveland already said they were going to do that, but if Houston wants to have him come in for a head coaching interview, I'm sorry, Cleveland, you ain't getting him.
And then there's they're saying that Jim Caldwell and is interviewing for the Panthers job, and so is Frank Reich.
Jim Caldwell is also interviewing for the Colts job.
Yeah, I figured he'd interview for the
God,
Colts job as well.
that would be a good hire. You guys get Caldwell.
They had
That would
Caldwell
be a
before.
really good hire.
They had
Yeah,
Caldwell
we've had
before.
Caldwell before. Took us to a Super Bowl.
But that's what I'm saying. If you get him back though, that would be. I didn't say you should. I didn't think you should let him go in the first place. I loved what he did with Detroit, for crying out loud.
Yeah, he really didn't deserve to get fired from the Colts. They had that terrible season, but that was because Peyton was out and we didn't have a backup. We didn't have a backup quarterback, and then they fired everybody after that.
He didn't deserve to get fired from the damn Lions either. He had a winning record with the freaking Lions.
Had a winning record with the Lions. I'll tell you what, I think the Lions did get might have found them a long-term coach for a while with Campbell. Them guys play hard for him.
Yeah, and they also found themselves a long-term quarterback too.
Yeah, Jared Goff playing well. If you look at his numbers, he's top 7 in the league in most categories.
Went the final 9 games without throwing an interception.
And see, everybody used to say Goff was only good because of McVay. Goff wasn't very good, but McVay made him better. That's how he got to that Super Bowl. But Goff is kind of putting that theory to rest right now because he's playing just as good or better than what he was playing in with the Rams.
Yeah, he definitely is playing better.
I just think that Goff is. I'm not saying that he's terrible, but I just don't think he's very consistent.
This year he was consistent.
Yeah, I was gonna say this year he has been, but
not the Panthers game.
Yeah, that's one game. He went the final 9 games of the season without throwing an interception. He had 29 touchdowns and 7 interceptions this year, and he went the last 9 games without throwing one. That's very consistent.
Well, you have to think the Lions started 1-6?
1-6, and they went 8-2 their final 10 games.
In them first 7 games, they could have easily won 4 or 5 of those games. There were games they were in. And
why did they go 8-2 of those final 10 games? Because their defense started to play better, and Jared Goff was not turning over the football. That's why.
Yeah, that will tend to do it for you. If you're not turning the ball over, you are increasing your chances.
That's their big, but that has been their biggest weakness this season. Had been their defense, and you're right, Dustin. That second half of the season, the defense started playing. I'm not saying they were playing great, but they were playing a hell of a lot better than what they did at the beginning. Damien says, "Do Seahawks really need a quarterback?" I mean, they do. They didn't do bad with Geno Smith. But yeah, Geno had a good year.
They need a quarterback. Honestly,
they need a long-term quarterback. Geno Smith is not long-term. They can bring Geno Smith back for 2 years and still draft a quarterback and then sit that quarterback for like a year or 2 behind Geno Smith.
I don't know though. It depends on where you nab him too. If you wait for the second round, maybe so. But if you take him in the first round, they're gonna want that dude on the field. And I always said, you can't gain experience when you're holding a clipboard. You got to put that guy in the field and let's go.
I don't personally think there's a whole lot of quarterbacks that are going to go in the first round. I mean, you'll have some just
right.
I think we're going to get 2.
I'm not real sold on this quarterback class.
Well, I'm not either, but I think 3 of them go in the first round. I think Stroud, I think Young, and possibly Levis go in the first round. God forbid though, if you draft Levis, Gonzo, hopefully that doesn't happen to you. I think you're drafted at number 5 now.
There's going to be 5 quarterbacks taking in the first round.
Are you drafting at 4, Gonzo?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's going to be 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round.
How many of them do you think are going to turn into a franchise quarterback?
1, maybe 2.
I was going to say 2.
One that
I was thinking 2, and Hendon Hooker's is in there as well. So
the one that I think is going to turn into a franchise quarterback nobody even has going in the first round right now, and I think he does end up in the first round. And that's Max Duggar of TCU.
I've been talking good about Max Duggan for a long time now, and I said, that would be a great quarterback to draft. I just like him because of his competitiveness. I like a good, strong, competitive quarterback. That's what I like about Dugan.
I was saying the other day, I wouldn't be mad if the Colts took him maybe later in the first round, or we got a real early second round pick if he's still there.
Say
Yeah.
TCU loses tonight. Do you think Max might stay for another year to see
No.
if okay.
No, I
His
think
draft
he's
stock-
already gone.
his draft stock is way too high right now because if he goes back to school next year and has a decline compared to what he did this year, his draft stock's going to take a hit.
No, I didn't think about that.
His stock is as high as it's going to be right now. He has no choice but to enter.
What's up, Mike?
What up, man?
Mikey Mike.
Don't talk to me, bro.
How's Mike doing on this Monday afternoon? I know your Bears got the number one pick in the draft.
Yeah, fuck you, Mike. So what are you gonna do? Hey, what do you want your Bears to do? Do you trade back out of that? Or do you keep it?
I think there's not a wrong way to do it. I mean, there's a wrong way to do it, but as long as you do it the right way and you're believing in it, I'm completely content with it. I see a lot of people saying, trade back. I'm one of those people. I think we trade back with either the Colts or the Seahawks.
That's what I was saying.
I think it makes the most sense because they have multiple first-round picks and they have the most draft capital that anybody else can see. Out of those choices, Arizona's not going to do it, obviously. Well, I'm not going to say Arizona's not going to do it because they just fired Cliff and the GM's step back. So I don't know what they're going to do.
That was the best thing they could have done was fire the damn coach and GM.
I'm definitely not trading that pick for a Devontae Adams or DeAndre Hopkins. They're 30 years old. This is the number one pick. They would have to be like the side of the deal. I would need a lot more than to just get that. But I've also heard, a lot of people questioning Justin Fields. I love Justin Fields. Jay's my guy. I do believe he's the quarterback of the future, but I do understand Ryan Poles is a first-time GM ever. And one thing a GM always wants to do throughout their career is draft their guy. So if you could get a first round or 2 first-round picks for Justin Fields and you want to take Bryce Young or CJ Stroud on a rookie deal for the next 4 or 5 years, I'm not upset about it. Because it's one of those things where I recognize, you didn't draft this kid. You inherited him. If you can get something good in return for Justin Fields, I could see that as well. But if you want to rock out with Justin Fields as QB1 and build around him, I have no problem with any of it. I think there's so many different ways this can go. And the next 4 to 5 months are going to be nothing but that. It's just speculation about what it's going to be. Just don't put it up.
Man, I think See, I'm not fully bought into. I'm not fully bought into Justin Fields.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I love Jay. I think he's got the best work ethic. I think he is one of the strongest.
I think he's a great runner. I just want to see more out of the passing game from him. But again, to your point, Mike, it's hard to pass the ball when I guess you got a defender on your butthole every 5 seconds or 2 seconds.
Well, and you don't have great weapons. You don't have great weapons on the outside.
Yeah. So I mean, if Ryan believes that Justin's the guy and he wants to build around that, I think free agency is going to be the most telling of what he's going to do. I didn't say trade Fields. I'm just saying from a general manager standpoint, first-time general manager, you just have the number 1 overall pick for the first time since 1947. It would be a shame not to use that if I'm Ryan Poles. I'd be very upset about it. So I think, when you really look at it for what it is, if he believes Justin's his guy, which him not playing, to the greatest capability this season kind of showed that. It's definitely going to be interesting because I will say, and Dustin can even attribute to it because he's watched some Bears games. The playbook looks completely different when Trevor Siemian or Nathan Peterman are in. They're shit and they're awful, but they're throwing the deep ball. They're throwing the Claypool. They're throwing the Mooney. When Justin comes in, it's really just Justin doing his own thing. So, I mean, I really don't know how they really view and look at Fields. It's going to be hard to say, but I think at the end of the day, if Justin Fields is QB1 after draft night, then you could say he's your quarterback and he's your franchise quarterback. But until then, I think all options are available. I look at a guy, I follow college football very hard. The draft is my favorite time of the year. CJ Stroud and Bryce Young are legit. I will say CJ is damn near identical to Justin Fields when it comes to their college stats. But there is definitely a case to be said about Bryce Young, about him being the future and what he could offer. So I think, to Damien's point, it would suck. It'd be another wasted quarterback Bears jersey that I could add to the closet of shame, but it's definitely,
Damien.
I wouldn't be mad at it. If you do it the right way, I wouldn't be mad. Like, I was talking to Gonzo about it. Seattle's got a top 5 pick. If Seattle trades their top 5 because they don't have a top 2, top 3, so they're going to miss out on CJ and Bryce. If they want Justin Fields, because I believe Levis is a bust. I believe Levis is going to be the next Mitchell Trubisky, the next Zach Wilson. I don't think he's going to be good. Very overhyped. And I think, if Justin Fields is in that conversation, I think that's a guy you're going into year 3, a rookie deal, top 2 all time of the rushing single season record. So I think that's something you can look at Seattle and be like, listen, I'm going to leave this draft with Jalen Carter and Bryce Young, and then the Bears are going to go about what they're doing. So, I want Fields to be on the roster in 2023 and beyond. He's my guy, but I also understand if he's not Ryan's guy because that you inherited a rookie quarterback. That's never really happened before. It's weird for a GM to draft a quarterback and then immediately get fired. So I think it's definitely going to be a weird offseason.
Yeah, and Damien,
Yeah.
if your level of wanting to know if you should keep a quarterback is if he can be better than Dak Prescott, you got a big problem.
Yeah.
Dak shouldn't be a measuring stick.
No, yeah.
Where does Hooker go?
I think he goes to New Orleans. I think they have the second round picks to be able to do it. I don't think they have a first. And Hendon tearing his ACL is going to be huge for his draft stock. So I think, him landing there, you have Chris Olave, Mike Thomas, you still have Alvin Kamara. So I think that, it's a nice little spot for him.
Yeah, because I think the Eagles actually have the Saints first round pick. So
yeah.
I'm just kind of curious as to where Carr is going to wind up playing. That's going to be another good one out there.
Derek Carr is going to go to Indianapolis.
You think he goes to the Colts?
That's what I think. I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts either take an offensive lineman or trade out of that 4th pick and try to move back a little bit in the first round because I think they're probably going to go like a Derek Carr route.
See, I was thinking
I'll tell you what. If you get Derek Carr, that's going to be like what, like your 4th or 5th big time free agent quarter. Y'all better do something with this guy, Chris.
Well, the guy's under 4 years.
Give me one more big one.
The guy's got 4 years of his contract left, so it's not like they can just move on from him after 1 year. Like the recent quarterbacks they've had are all 1 year deals.
And the recent quarterbacks we got, other than Wentz, he wasn't real old, but Rivers and Ryan were on their way out.
Yeah, but to Dustin's point though, too, I think with the no trade clause that he has, they're actually going to have to cut him, aren't they? They're going to have to send him for assignment because
they can cut him, but they can also ask him where are teams that he would like to go. And if he says, "Oh, I'll go here, and here," then that can void your no trade clause as long as he agrees to it.
Okay.
If he doesn't agree to it, then they can cut him. But I don't
like everything. It's like every contract. You can always amend a contract through writing.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily see him getting traded to the Colts and the Colts keeping that 4th pick that they have. But I could see them making that 4th pick for the Raiders, and then whoever they take with that 4th pick, they send them to the Raiders.
Right. I do think, though, a big one a lot of people aren't talking about is the Jets. I think Derek Carr – I originally thought Jimmy Garoppolo was probably going to end up on the Jets, but now with Derek Carr kind of having that issue, it's like, wow, okay. So I think the Jets probably have the most money to actually be able to take on Carr, and they actually have the draft capital to do so more than the Colts. So
I don't think they do. I think they give it to Mike White. I think that is Mike White's team.
Nah. He's a nice little story, but he's not your franchise guy.
You could say the same thing about Brock Purdy, though.
I will say the same thing about Brock Purdy. He's not your franchise guy.
He's not the franchise guy, but can you bench the hot hand right now? If Jimmy Garoppolo were to come back into the practice facility tomorrow and saying he's good to go for the playoffs, I don't think they start him over Brock Purdy.
I think they do.
I think they stick with the hot hand because Brock Purdy has played well.
I don't know why you would destroy your chemistry for no reason.
Yeah, same thing with Mike White. The Jets were a better team when Mike White was starting.
Without a doubt. But here's also the thing. You look at Brock Purdy's actual games and you watch it as a whole. I was talking to Gonzo about it. You see the little highlights, and that's cool. But there's a lot of times I'm watching this guy fuck up and make horrible.
There's 2 or 3 throws a game that should have been about every game that should have been interceptions that have been
And
dropped.
hitting his offensive lineman in the back of the head with a tight ass spiral.
You know, hey, you ride the hot hand to the hot hand is not hot.
No,
And
and
switch
that's
over
cool.
to the
But
other one.
we're not talking about Jimmy Garoppolo coming back next week. We're talking about trading for a franchise
Oh
quarterback.
no, well that's true as well. But man,
I'm trading for Derek before I'm trading for Jimmy.
Oh well, yeah, I would say yeah.
Well, and
Oh,
their biggest-
absolutely.
And with the 49ers for next season, what are you going to do with Trey Lance? If you decide Purdy's
I
your
think
guy,
they're trying to put Trey Lance back up on the shopping block.
Purdy's gonna end up like Taylor Heineke. He's gonna get little opportunities here and there, but he's never gonna be that guy. It's just not his. It's not his fault. It's just the where he's at.
Damien says, what happens to Rodgers? Does he stay or leave? Who knows?
Who cares?
Rodgers is done.
Does he stay or should he
Done.
go?
Are you saying he's done with the Packers or done?
No, I think he's done. If you listen to his press conference last night, and the one question that was asked to him basically was, knowing that you signed this extension and you have $60 million on the table, can you actually walk away from $60 million? And he flat out answered yes. He's like, money is just energy, and I've made enough money in my NFL career. I'm grateful for the money that I've earned, but I can walk away from $60 million. You've never actually actually heard him say that he can walk away from money before.
I don't believe. I don't.
Here's the other thing too. Aaron Rodgers has never had any issues like giving up his jersey after a game, especially to like when a rookie comes up to him and always asks him for his jersey. Last night, the Detroit Lions rookie receiver went up to Aaron Rodgers asking for his jersey, and Rodgers is like, "No, I'm going to hang on to this one and frame it." That right there is kind of like,
you know, and I addressed that too. I was talking to my buddies about that. Dustin, if you just lost, got your ass whooped by a division rival, got eliminated from the playoffs, it's 12 degrees outside, you're 38 years old, and your hand is broken, and some kid who had one reception all year walks up to you, can I have your jersey? I tell you to go fuck off too.
I mean, look at last year. He gave Robbie Gould his jersey.
Robbie Gould, who we played against for 10 plus years, he's a Hall of Fame
kicker. He's the kicker that kicked him out of the playoffs.
And guess what? It's Robbie Gould. They've been boys for like 10 years.
and the Tampa Bay.
This kid walked up to him, played 2 games, 1 reception, and was like, "Can I have your jersey? Get the fuck out of here."
Look at the Tampa Bay game though too. Scotty Miller went up to him.
Scotty
Miller got his jersey, and Scotty Miller didn't do much during the regular season that year.
And guess what, though? It's not a division rival, and your hand's not broken, and you're not in Green Bay. You're not in the Midwest.
Tampa Bay is not cold.
The NFC Championship game that Tampa Bay was in Lambeau Field.
It's cooling, Dustin. We're chilling. This kid did nothing. This kid was just random. Get the fuck out of here, Jameis. Like, what the fuck? Who asked that?
But if you listen to more of the story, before the game even started, that wide receiver went up to Aaron Rodgers in pregame and said, "I would like your jersey after the game." And Aaron Rodgers told him flat out, "I will give you my jersey after the game."
And then he lost, so he's like, "Fuck you."
It doesn't matter, though. He still told the guy that he could have the jersey.
Something changed, and that's what changes. Like, bro, if I just got my ass busted by the Detroit Lions and I just got eliminated from the playoffs and my hand looks like I'm throwing up gang signs because of all the fucking breaks and tears it has into it, don't talk to me about my jersey. I'm not taking off my clothes in front of everybody after I just caught this L.
See, I kind of feel the other way. I think he kept the jersey not because he's going to retire, but because I think he thinks that is probably his last game in Green Bay. I think he's going to end up somewhere else.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think he's still – I'm tired of it. I don't want to talk about it for like another off season.
Well, here's the funny thing, though, and I told this to my uncle this morning when I was talking to him. What you've seen out of Aaron Rodgers the last 3 years is Brett Favre 2.0 to a T. Brett Favre put the Packers through the ringer for 3 straight off seasons, saying how he was going to retire, and then all of a sudden, last minute, he says he's going to play. And then what does Brett Favre do his final 2 seasons in Green Bay? Throws 2 horrible interceptions to end the Packers' regular season and playoffs. What does Aaron Rodgers do? Throws a horrible interception against the San Francisco 49ers last year to end the playoffs. Throws an absolutely horrible interception against the Lions last night to end the Packers season again. It is Brett Favre 2.0 to a T.
Mm-hmm.
Your
He threw a bad interception, but also some dumbass penalties by Green Bay really cost him that game.
Quay Walker's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, them that personal foul, then the one on the guy that went and grabbed the ball when they were getting ready to kick a field goal.
Yeah, that was I don't know
Yeah,
what the
that
hell
was-
Sewell Douglas was doing on that one.
That's the one where he's
Those
saying
plays
you're
make
not very
field goals a
smart or
hell of a
something
lot
like that,
shorter.
right?
Sorry, what was that?
Hey,
David?
that's the one where that's the one where he was yelling, "You're not smart" to that guy, right? Where he pushed that guy at the end. Yeah, I didn't understand why he did that. That was to me was the dumbest thing you could possibly do, and that actually put him half the distance to the goal, I believe it was.
Yeah, he pushes the athletic trainer out of the way, and that gave the Lions.
Which I don't understand why would you push it? That doesn't make sense to me.
Especially the worst part is, especially after what happened on Monday. Obviously, it wasn't the same situation, but the last person you should be pushing out of the way under any circumstance is an athletic trainer, especially after what happened on Monday. I don't care if the athletic trainer walks up to you and pushes you out of the way so they can see if the player is hurt or not. The last person that you should be putting your hands on is an athletic trainer.
Oh, yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, absolutely. So what if San Francisco?
Frankie.
How's it going, Frankie?
What up, boys? What up? What up?
What up, Frankie?
I'm coming in hot on this Monday morning, baby, or I say Monday afternoon. And we ready? We on our way to the 2023 draft, baby. Let's go. For those of you who are in the playoffs, you all first round exits. I don't give a fuck. I'm saying it now.
And hey, listen, just because your reign of superiority
Shut up,
is
Jay.
over.
I think there's only two people in here that earn the playoffs.
You're gonna lose against the GOAT Monday night. Shut up, Jay.
Hey, listen, I can't hear you, little man, because just like in the regular season, you're always underneath.
I think the only people that have teams in the playoffs is Jay and Stat Guy.
Not even a
Say
real
it
Viking
again.
fan.
Say it with your chest. Say it with your damn chest.
You guys are gonna get put out first round by Brady.
Exactly.
Hey,
You
if
know
you
what
guys look
Jay's
like
gonna say? And then you know what Jay's gonna say? Well,
You
we're
got
gonna
beat
be
by
in the
Sam
Super
Howell.
Bowl next year.
Sam Howell beat you guys yesterday.
Sam Howell is good though. I've been saying Sam Howell is a dog. Honestly, I think Washington
I
makes
don't do my hands.
if they started the season with Sam.
Hey, yo, Mike, Nate, Chris, we on to the draft, baby. Let's go.
I feel like I got the number one pick and I'm the least. I don't care. You're more excited than me, bro.
Meanwhile, we have the San Francisco 49ers draft pick.
Yeah, Nate don't got shit. Nate's just chilling. Nate don't got no picks. Nate just got some Bible verse.
Ooh, so Eberflus, hey. So do we trust Eberflus, Mike?
No. Flus, listen, I love Flus. I love Flus the person. I love Flus as the leader, but I said it all offseason. If it wasn't Brian Dable, who literally just led the Giants to the playoffs, I didn't want him. And that's really where I'm at with Flus. I don't like Luke Getsy. I don't like Williams as the DC. I think he's a great leader, but I need to see more from him from a control standpoint. Like the defense looked horrendous. The schemes looked horrendous. The secondary was really the only thing that looked good. And that wasn't pretty either. You know what I mean? Justin Jefferson's out here over 100 yards on you. So it's like, it's something for me. You know, I really want to see Flus take over as the defensive coordinator. I still think he's that bridge gap guy. I don't know if he's your guy you're going to win a Super Bowl with, but you know, only time's really going to tell. But it's, again, I don't like when we go defensive coordinator as head coaches, just because the OC is my biggest problem right now, because you have Chase Clay. And listen, I've been talking about them all year, but they're pretty solid players. Like, I don't hate these guys. Like, Cole Kmet is a top 10 tight end. You're looking at Chase Claypool, who's a good number 2. Darnell Mooney's a good number 2. David Montgomery is what he is. Justin Fields out here running for his life. And the only plays you have are Justin Fields scrambling, which aren't designed runs. That's just Fields taking the game into his own hands. So I don't see anything from Luke Getsy from an offensive coordinating standpoint. He does not offer anything. He seems like he doesn't know how to utilize Fields, and a big part of that's because Fields is the complete opposite of Rodgers. So that's one of the biggest issues. So bring back Lovey. Nah, Lovey could stay over there. He could stay in his little wherever. He can go back to Illinois.
Lovey's looking for a job right now.
Yeah, well, he could stay wherever he is right now. Like it's cool. If you're in a hotel in Houston right now, stay over there, bro, because it's cool.
No. He's on the first train out. But
yeah, you can stay wherever you
hey,
want.
you else is on the first train out? Cliff Kingsbury. Where does he go? Do you think Cliff winds up back in college, or do you think he gets picked up somewhere in the NFL, either as an assistant or whatever?
I think
he's going to end up as a high school coach.
I think Cliff Kingsbury gets picked up as an offensive coordinator in the NFL. I don't think he goes back to college, but I think someone gives him a shot as the offensive coordinator.
Just coughing over here. Just Cliff Kingsbury, come over here. Just coughing over here.
I bet you are.
Did it surprise you?
Hey, I want to go back to Anthony Price. I want to go back to.
Go ahead, Frankie.
Go back to Anthony Price's comment real quick about Brady. You know, he said Brady's 7-0 against Cowboys. He need to fix that. You know, Brady's 8-0 against Cowboys. He gonna come in on Monday night and straight rape the Cowboys.
Hey! We don't use words like that. You keep that to yourself. We do not use words like anything that sounds like an E. If it rhymes with grape, we don't say it.
Words like that when we talking about sports. We use words like that when we talking about sports, especially when it's the Dallas Cowboys, sir. So you shut your mouth and get ready to get raped by Tom Brady in the morning.
Do not make me come over there. I will take that. I will take that jersey you have, and I'll make you eat it after I wipe my boom hole first. So shut your mouth.
I can't believe that there will be a day that I'd actually defend Jay with the Dallas Cowboys. But what was Tom Brady's record versus the Falcons until last night?
Oh, I don't even have that. What? I don't even have that stat, but it sounds like a good one.
It's 11-0 until last night.
Yeah,
there you go.
But Nate, hold on, Nate. Nate, did Tom Brady finish the game?
Actually, don't know. So.
Tom Brady didn't finish the game. Tom Brady left after he had the lead on them. So.
Hey! Stop being a sore loser over there, Frankie. You just stay over there in Loserville.
I'm not.
You're in Loserville now. You're back with the mortal people. You're in Loserville.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm ready for that 14th draft pick, baby.
I don't know what you're so excited about, Frankie.
You're excited. I just said why I'm excited because I'm ready to get that 14th
Where do you
pick.
think your team's going? Where do you think your team's going? You're done. Okay, you had your Brady moment. It was great. It was beautiful. We're throwing trophies across the water. We're landing the other raft, and nobody cares. You know why? It's Tom Brady. But Tom Brady is gone, sir. Now you're with the rest of your mortals.
When it comes to NFL, you should be the last person to ever talk about being done. Mister, we always go to the playoffs, but yet choke for my fan base.
Wait. Why are you hopping over to me?
Stop that. I'm not hopping over to you.
I don't know why you're coming over to Dallas for, man. We know we've been asked for a while now. Leave us alone, okay? But now it's good to see you joining us.
Draft pick.
Anthony Price.
Where you guys think?
I don't know why you had to go there and poke me in the heart like that.
Your team sucks. That showed it last night.
But okay. So you honest, and I get how good but you think that Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks are going to beat the Cowboys? Now I understand. I don't think they do. Frank. I don't think they do.
Didn't they beat them once already this season?
Okay.
First game of the year, 19-3, when Dak Prescott broke his thumb, though.
Yeah, but I think the Cowboys are better without Dak.
I agree.
I kind of agree with Chris.
I agree that they are, and that's why even like Jay, you can attest to this.
But I do think we can get past Tampa. I
do think they can get past Tampa. I don't think they can get past anybody else.
I would agree with that, Nate. I would. And I think it's because what we all know, because Dak can't protect the ball. But I'm sorry, Stat guy. I know you're trying.
I was going to say, I've said this to you many times before that Dallas never should have benched Cooper Rush.
Yeah, well, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
The team was playing better when Cooper Rush was the quarterback.
I agree. Listen, I've always said that I felt like two things were play calling and Dak Prescott. Those were my two biggest issues with the Cowboy. Now I can fix Dak Prescott. I can't fix front office. I can't tell Jerry Jones, yo, Jerry, maybe we go hire a general manager. How about that? You think we could bring a general manager in here that's not you and your 80-year-old mentality? What the hell?
What's the bigger problem for them, Kellen Moore or Dak Prescott?
Equal. I think they're equal. I think it's that 50% the antiquated, predictable play calling, and then the other 50% is Dak just doesn't protect the ball. Like we said earlier yesterday, he threw the first one, the guy missed it. He threw it to the exact same guy, and then he got an interception. Like I don't understand why you throw the exact same back-to-back plays. I mean, what the hell?
Why do you think the play calling seems better when Rush is in there than Dak?
I think Cooper Rush, in my opinion, just takes better care of the ball.
I think that's part of it, but I also think Dallas knows what the ceiling is with Cooper Rush, and they don't put him in a position to fail.
Yeah.
Versus Dak Prescott, we've seen Dak Prescott lead the NFL in passing yards. We've seen Dak Prescott lead the NFL in touchdown passes. So I think they get a lot more aggressive in terms of play calling with Dak Prescott because you've seen Dak Prescott perform, but at the same time, they get too aggressive with Dak Prescott. They need to call the same game that they call with Cooper Rush with Dak Prescott, and the results would be a lot different.
I think anybody who's not named Zach Wilson should be the quarterback of the Jets.
Mike White is definitely taking the helm of that team next year.
That's exactly what I said, Frankie. I said that team was a playoff team when Mike White was starting.
Yeah. I think we all knew Mike White. It's like we knew Purdy was the right answer.
I feel Mike White just lost his touch like when he had that like basically 3 injuries in one game when he tried to fight himself to come back in. I feel like that's when he lost his momentum and his a little bit of ability on the playing wise, but definitely he's coming back next year and he's going to take the helm of the Jets.
Yeah,
and I won't be surprised if the Jets go ahead and try and trade away Zach.
What did the Jets say? "Quote unquote," we are committed. We stand behind Zach Wilson. They've came out and said they stand. How long did they? I don't think they're standing behind, but that's what they have said that they're standing behind Zach Wilson.
Well, Stat Guy, correct me if I'm wrong, Stat Guy. Are they even available to trade a rookie under their rookie contract?
Depending on the situation, yes. There are a lot of rules that go into play when you trade for a rookie deal. But if you're trading him just because you feel like you have another option in mind, you can do it, but you can't trade Zach Wilson and then draft another quarterback.
Right, okay.
As long as you have another quarterback on your roster, then you can make that trade, which they have Mike White, so they can make the trade if they want to.
I think they should have already made that trade, to be honest with you. Zach Wilson is just, at least for that specific situation, is done. As a New York Jet, he's done.
Let me ask you guys this. If Mike White takes the helm of the New York Jets, do Joe Flacco backs him up next year?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because look at how the Jets were playing those first couple of games of the year with Joe Flacco. Mike White and Joe Flacco are kind of the same exact quarterback. They're guys that have a big arm and just go out there and fling it versus Zach Wilson is a guy that has no idea what the hell he's doing. And that Jets offense has plenty of speed at wide receiver with Corey Davis, with is it Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, it's Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. And then they have Bryce Penny coming back and like those running backs that they got hurt, James Robinson. The Jets are going to have plenty of offensive weapons next year. They just need a quarterback that can kind of feed the ball around, and Mike White and Joe Flacco both do that a lot better than Zach Wilson does.
Don't be surprised if the Jets come in and secretly do something that we all aren't even looking at. It could be a possibility that they put Mike White as a backup and possibly get Jimmy G, because Jimmy G is going to be a free agent, and the head coach of the New York Jets have been on the other side with Jimmy G. You know, he was on the defensive side with him, but
the offensive coordinator for the Jets was Jimmy G's quarterback coach in San Francisco, so that really wouldn't be a surprise move at all. And if Jimmy G goes anywhere, he goes to the Jets because of that reason.
Yeah, I can see Jimmy G to the Jets.
Shut up, Chris.
Who's the
Don't say that.
Hey, who's the starter for the Raiders next year?
God, that's a good question.
No, it's
That
not.
really is.
That's an easy answer.
Nah, it's not. We were gonna say Stidham, but
Why
gonna
was
be.
Jared Stidham in the Raiders this year? Frankie,
Because
I'm
of Josh
pretty sure knows the answer.
McDaniels.
Jared
You know.
Stidham was in Josh McDaniel's system last year in New
yeah,
England.
of course, we're tracking. I mean,
There's
I'm
a
tracking.
reason why Jared Stidham looked better than Derek Carr this year because Jared Stidham had that 1 year of experience.
He hasn't looked that much better,
But I'm just saying they always say Josh McDaniels has the toughest offensive system to master, and they say it typically takes 2 to 3 years to fully master Josh McDaniel's system. This was Derek Carr's first year in that system. This was Jared Stidham's second year in that system. Next year will be his third year in that system. You bring a new quarterback into that Josh McDaniel system, you're not going to have any better results than what you had out of Derek Carr this year.
I think
Just put it like this. Just put it like this. There was a reason Josh McDaniels made a trade with the Patriots to get Jared Stidham.
You might as well stick with Stidham now because he's going to have 3 years of experience under that Josh McDaniel system, and he's going to know that system better than anybody else that comes into that Raiders organization.
He's going to have more than 3 years. Jared Stidham's been with the Patriots for about, I think, his entire rookie career, 4 years before getting traded. So that's
what I'm saying, like in terms of playing, though, he'll have like 3 years of playing in that system.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
I think Tom Brady's going to be the starter for the Raiders next year.
Oh my God, Chris, you're pissing me more off.
No, but you know what though? But he has been linked there, Frankie. Quite a few people have been linking him there. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he would be going back to his offensive coordinators. Yeah, him and McDaniels already know each other, just like Stidham knows it. Hell,
come on, AP, don't do that to me.
Yeah, but Jay, Tom Brady was also linked to the 49ers. Tom Brady's been linked to the 49ers as well.
Let me ask you guys this. Is Lamar Jackson going to play in the playoffs this season?
Yeah. Head coach already said that he's going to be available for the playoffs.
So I heard that report, but I also heard other reports that he might just sit out and not play because of the contract situation and everything, and he don't want.
If I was him, I would sit out.
You don't want to take a chance to miss that knee up more.
That's dumb. If he sits out, then that's a clear-cut look at him saying, I don't want to play for this organization anymore.
Well, everybody knows that, I think, pretty much.
No, he's been out.
But I get what you're saying. I mean, I get what you're saying because it does put a definitive answer on it. But I think everybody already knows that. But I get what you're saying, though, Frankie.
Well, if he's saying that, he's just matching basically what the Ravens have been saying because the Ravens have been basically telling him that he's not the quarterback of the future because they don't want to give him a contract.
Pretty much, especially if you sign Raekwon Smith before you sign him, that would give to me that would give a clear indication of who the priority is.
It's real sad that Lamar Jackson doesn't get a contract extension with the Baltimore Ravens. And he went to the playoffs with them, I think, one time already, maybe twice. I'm not 100% sure. And yet Daniel Jones will be getting a contract extension by the New York Giants at the end of the season. That's really sad.
I'm not too sure that Daniel Jones gets a contract extension, but I'm not going to be surprised if Mitch Trubisky ends up in New York next year because Brian Daboll loves Mitch Trubisky. And
you don't think they'll give Daniel Jones a contract extension for
Mitch Trubisky signed a 3-year, $15 million deal with Pittsburgh. He's not going to be back in Pittsburgh because now it's Kenny Pickett's job. So you can bring Mitch Trubisky on a.
That's true, but I don't think Daboll's going to bring in Trubisky because I don't think Trubisky is any better than what they have in Jones. If anything, Jones has had more success than Trubisky at this point.
But Trubisky had a lot of success in Buffalo last year when he had the opportunity under Brian Daboll.
That's because of the team he had around him.
I know that, but now
not saying he's not a good quarterback, but
Mitch Trubisky, I think Daniel Jones, I think, is more athletic than Mitch Trubisky is, but I think Mitch Trubisky brings more to the table in terms of passing than what Daniel Jones does.
Oh, I think they'd be making a mistake if they. To me, that's almost a lateral move. Why move away from Jones if
because
Yeah. And then you have to think, just because it worked out for Trubisky with Badable in Baltimore, you don't know how it's going to work out with this new set of guys in the Giants. I don't know.
It's going to cost
I'm right with the hand that's already feeding me, and we know the hand that's feeding them right now is Daniel Jones because they're in the damn playoffs.
But it's going to cost a lot less money, though. You're getting Trubisky for $5 million a year for 2 years, as opposed to most likely getting Daniel Jones for $15 million. You open up a lot more cap space to sign other pieces that team needs. They need more offensive line help. They need more weapons on offense. They need more weapons on defense. Bringing in a guy like Mitch Trubisky opens up that cap space to fill the rest of the needs around that team.
Guys, I got it. Jay, Nate, Chris, I got it. He's only saying this because he knows come Sunday he's going to lose to Daniel Jones and the Giants. I know exactly why he's doing that. We got it. We got you, stat guy. We understand.
No, because if Daniel Jones beats Minnesota on Sunday, then yeah, he probably does get that extension. But I'm just saying, in terms of the future of where the Giants are sitting right now, bringing in a guy for $10 million less for the next 2 years opens up a lot more things for that Giants team to improve on. It gives them more financial flexibility to make moves that they need to make. That's why.
You got your theory. You got your theory. We got ours.
The Giants don't have a lot of cap space right now. That's why I don't think they can afford to bring in Daniel Jones for $15 million a year, because they don't have much cap space to work with.
Franchise tag him next year,
especially with Saquon Barkley, because Saquon Barkley is going to be re-signed by the Giants. That's what they need to save their financial flexibility for.
And they can't franchise tag Daniel Jones for one more year?
No, because they declined that. No, they didn't franchise tag him at all this year. They declined his fifth-year option. Because they declined his fifth-year option, they're not allowed to franchise tag him.
What if he walks? How crazy would that be if he walked?
Anytime you decline, if you decline a rookie contract's fifth-year option, you cannot franchise tag him. So because they declined his fifth-year option at the start of the season, they cannot franchise tag him next year. It's either they have to extend him or they got to let him walk. That's the only reason why I don't see him coming back, is because they declined his fifth-year option at the beginning of the year.
If I'm the Giants, I will get rid of some pieces, maybe like a wide receiver. I don't know which one. Maybe who's the one that always gets hurt? Sterling Shepard, right?
Yeah, Shepard and Slayton both get hurt.
I think
they're all pretty much hurt, aren't they?
Yeah, I think what they might do is franchise Barkley for a year. Get if you want to keep Jones and then take care of Barkley next season.
I was gonna say, or you could do that, or get rid of Sterling Shepard, save some money on his, and give it to Daniel Jones, because Sterling Shepard is an injured pro guy who literally plays about 4 weeks in the season and he's done.
Or could they just make a move for Derek Carr and bring Derek Carr over?
If they're at cap space, they're not gonna have cap space for Jones, or they're not gonna have the cap space.
That's true.
Yeah, Derek Carr's gonna go to a team and expect money.
Which wild card game next weekend are you guys looking most forward to? What do you think is going to be the best wild card game of the playoffs?
Chargers and Jaguars.
That will be a good game.
I'm interested in that game.
I think Chargers and Jaguars, but I also think Dolphins and Bills, as long as Tua starts.
Yeah, let's go Fins. I'm doing it for my wife. Let's go Fins.
If Tua doesn't start, that's going to be a long day for Miami.
Yeah.
Especially with all the emotions that Buffalo was playing with yesterday, and probably all the emotions they're going to have throughout the playoffs. If Tua doesn't start, that's going to be a long day for Miami.
He had 2 weeks of rest. I think he'll start. And if he doesn't, I think they're going to ride with Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater will definitely come out and start for them.
Even with a broken thumb?
Definitely with a broken thumb. It doesn't matter. They're gonna have to. Do you think they're really gonna?
Man, at this point, I'm almost kind of going for the Bills to get that one
in playoff.
I think the Bills are going to win that one, but if Tua is available, it'll be a lot better game.
It's going to be a good game.
I guess now everything that happened to Hamlin, now I'm just kind of partially going for the Bills. I like feel-good stories, except for when they play the Cowboys. If we play the Cowboys, then we got to go Cowboys.
What about you, Jay? Which game are you looking forward to?
No, I think they both brought up some good games, right? I mean, that Bills and the Miami and Bills game, that's going to be incredibly It's going to be very emotional, very energetic. That's going to be a hard game. That's going to be a hard competitive game. So I think that's got to be the number one game. And then I do agree. I think Jacksonville and Chargers would be the next best one because we want to see how far can this Jaguars team go, and can the Chargers actually get a damn playoff win? So I think that game has a lot of good implications. And if I had to go for game 3, it'd probably be Dallas and Tampa.
I seen last night. The guy that goes on Sunday Night Football. He does the little stat guy thing. That he does with the percentage and stuff. He said that the Jaguars and Chargers game, both teams, it's equal right at the middle, 50%.
Yeah.
On both teams can make that next round. Compared obviously to the Bills, the Bills are probably easily going to have about an 80+% chance on beating the Dolphins. No doubt about it. Especially with Tyreek Hill, who just got hurt yesterday with an ankle injury, ended up coming back. I don't know how. They probably shot something up in his ankle. He didn't feel it no more, but he ended up coming back in. And if he's going to, continue walking and running on that ankle, how 100% can he be against Buffalo? We're not really sure on that.
And that's something to think about with the Chargers as well, because Mike Williams hurt his back in that game yesterday, so his availability could be quite questionable for this week.
Another one I'd like to see, honestly, I would like to see the Seahawks and 49ers. I think that's going to be a good game as well. Geno Smith playing really well this year for the Seahawks, actually breaking Russell Wilson's passing yard franchise record. I think it's going to be great, especially you got Brock Purdy, who's coming in for the 49ers. Can he continue to evaluate or emulate, or however you say it, I'm sorry, with this team? It's going to be that game right there is also.
And same thing for Seattle. How is Lockett? How is I know he was hurt. How is he performing now?
I don't know. When I look at the playoffs and I see Seattle, all I think about is DK Metcalf. That's who their main target is going to be.
I don't think it will be this game.
And that rookie running back they have, that Walker, he's tough.
Yeah, Walker the third he's a beast, ain't he? I mean, they got
It would have been more interesting to see the 49ers go up against the Detroit Lions. I'm not gonna lie. It would have been. I felt like that game would have been more interesting because of how much the Detroit Lions have changed over the year. They have more momentum on their back. Like, they're fighting together as a team. I feel like that would have been a very game.
You can make the same case though for Seattle. Seattle's doing a really good job coming behind Geno Smith.
Yeah,
too.
but they got Pete Carroll, calling the plays compared to Dan Campbell. I mean, come on. And you got the Lions. They started 1-7, Jay.
And I just don't like anything Detroit, except 8 Mile. I like 8 Mile. 8 Mile was a good movie.
B-Rabbit, man. B-Rabbit.
It Detroit stamp, baby. A Detroit stamp. Let's go.
Where's Future at? Where's Future?
Where's Future, man?
What about you, Nate? What game you looking forward to, Nate?
I'm looking forward to the Vikings Giants. Last time this happened, Vikings only pulled it up by 3 points. Looking at the head coaches and looking at the head coaching staff, I could see a potential. I saw a stat earlier today that the Vikings had a plus-minus differential of minus 19. And there were 4 teams that had a losing record. Finished off the season with a losing record with a better plus-minus differential than them. Just looking at that, I wouldn't be shocked at all if we end up somehow seeing the New York Giants coming up with a big upset victory moving on to the next round.
Hey, you know who's not moving on to the next round, Nate? You.
I mean, does the plus minus differential surprise you though, Nate?
Oh no, because Nate came
in. They've had 10 games. They've had 11 games this season where they've won by 7 points or less. The only 2 games that they won by more than 7 points was Green Bay in Week 1, and then the Bears just yesterday. And then the 4 losses they've been outscored by over 80. So when they lose, they get the living shit kicked out of them. But when they win, they find ways to win. And at this point in the NFL season, all that matters is you find ways to win. It doesn't matter how you get the win. And we've seen it.
I was actually ranked higher than everybody on this panel in fantasy football league, in unscripted fantasy football. I actually outranked all of y'all. How crazy!
Like I said, I didn't even pay attention to that league.
I wouldn't either if I was
CJ?
losing. I wouldn't.
CJ?
Hey, no, I wouldn't either if I was losing, Nate. I mean, if I was losing that league, I wouldn't
I
pay
don't
attention.
think I paid attention week 1. Otherwise,
I'm pretty sure you didn't, Nate, because you knew your ass was going to get handed to you. Loserville is that way, Nate, or
I think
that way.
I think the Giants and Vikings will be good, but I have the Giants winning that game. And the big worry for me is Minnesota's defense. I love Minnesota.
Yeah, well, their run defense for sure.
No, it's the opposite. It's the passing defense. The Minnesota's top 10 against the run. They're dead last against the pass. They can stop the run. They've held opponents to under 110 yards rushing for most of the season. It's that secondary that's killed Minnesota all year.
The real question for me for the Vikings is not the defense and it's not the offense. It's the quarterback. Can Kirk Cousins deliver on a time where they really need him? I mean, he's been in the playoffs many times, but he has not succeeded in the playoffs, and that's where the trouble is.
He's only been to the playoffs twice in his career. He's been there once with Washington and once with Minnesota. And the time he was in the playoffs with the Vikings back in 2019, he led them to an overtime win at New Orleans.
Is that when you guys got away with that crazy pass interference call?
No,
yeah,
that was Case Keenum.
But no, that was Case Keenum. Yeah, but Case Keenum was 2017. That was a Minneapolis Miracle. 2019 Kirk Cousins went into New Orleans and won in overtime, and then they lost.
Minneapolis Miracle.
And then if you look at this year, though, Kirk Cousins leads the NFL with 9 fourth-quarter game-winning drives. Whether that means they were tied when the drive happened or whether that means Minnesota was trailing in the fourth quarter, he still had 9 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter this year, which was 4 more than any other quarterback. So he's come through in the clutch a lot more than people give him credit for this year.
Yeah, but can he do that in the playoffs? That's all I'm saying.
He did once, and that was the only time he's made it with Minnesota. And then when he made the playoffs...
No. Did he win the Super Bowl with them? Either one of them? Then what the fuck are you talking about?
That was when the Niners played Kansas City.
Go back. No. You stand down, okay? Let's win the Super Bowl. You stand down. Be quiet. Sit in your corner.
Well, I don't want to hear no more Cowboys talk. They ain't won a Super Bowl for about 30 years.
Hey, Indianapolis. Hey, Indianapolis. Where did you come from?
We've won a Super Bowl since you guys.
I'll tell you what. Hey, you take the Reds win. Hold on. You take the Reds. You take the you take all 3 of your sports there. Your Pacers. Who else you got?
Pacers are good. My Pacers are pretty good.
You take the Colts, the Reds, and the Pacers. Add all their scores up combined, and you still haven't caught up to the Astros. Sit your butt over the corner
so you're going back to the Astros because your Cowboys haven't won nothing for about 6 years.
Hey, Chris, he always does that, Chris. Don't I point that out all the time? He always does that.
It's
one sport, and he got to bring his
all I know is, who has a better record, Chris? Where are you at right now? Are you in the playoffs? I'm in the playoffs. Are you in the playoffs, Chris? Oh, okay.
I'm not in the playoffs.
Sit over there with Frankie. Sit over there with Dustin.
Yo, it's fun over here.
Dustin is in. And sit over there with Nate. Sit over there with Chris. All y'all just look. Me and little Dustin.
Hey, you'll be joining us after this weekend.
Hey, it's fun here. You want to know why?
Hey, be nice. What the hell?
For somebody who hasn't hey, I just want to say one thing to Jay. For somebody who hasn't made the playoffs in 5 years, we certainly do know how to beat Dallas.
Oh, we certainly do know how to beat Dallas. You know what? I whooped your ass at fantasy football, so shut up.
Yeah, but my team beat your team in real football.
Hey, shut up. Damn it. Hey, okay, I will give you that. It was watch this. It was regular season. Now we're in playoffs. Let's see who can go farther in the playoffs, Nate. By the way, I'm not saying it's going to be the Cowboys. I'm not that delusional, but if they did get that far, I would certainly give Nate the Great the business. I will tell you that.
I think Cowboys have a chance to win the first game. I kind of agree with everybody else. I don't know if they'll get by anybody else besides Tampa.
Chris, don't with that. Chris. Don't do that shit, Chris, because 20 to 25 minutes ago, you're saying that the Cowboys are going to get beat by Tom
Cowboys are
Brady.
gonna
Now
get
you're going to go
beat.
over here. Yeah, I think then don't go over here saying, I think the Cowboys can win the first game, because it's not going to happen. You stick with your goddamn answer. Consistency, Chris.
Cowboys are getting beat.
Yeah, okay. I'm telling you right now,
National
Cowboys
championship.
will beat the Bucks. Where we go from there, hey, I'm gonna ride the wave of emotion. We'll see. But I
What do you
definitely
guys
think
think
we got the Bucks.
about the national championship
Jake,
tonight?
you don't beat the Bucks, Jay, you better come back on here and call Tom Brady to go. I mean, I know you still do, but I want you to really get into it, and I want you to phrase it, and I want you to take the glasses off, get close on the screen. No, listen to me. You listen to me. You take off the glasses, you get close into the screen, and you look into Tom Brady's soul, and you call him the greatest of all time for going 8-0 against the Dallas Cowboys. I want you to do it just like that exactly. I want to see that face.
You suck, Tom. You suck then. You suck now. You suck tomorrow. You should have left when he won. He should have left when he won the Super Bowl. When he won the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, he should have just rode off into the sunset. I don't know why these guys just can't ride off into the sunset. Is it that hard? Shit.
Because he wanted to get divorced, and he knew the only way to get divorced was to keep playing.
He should have rode off into the. He should have rode off into the sunset.
I think he's going to play another year. I don't think this is going to be his last year.
Yeah. I swear to God, for some reason, the great players never know when to hang it up. They always stay around a little too long.
Well, it's not only that, Jay. I mean, if you really look at it, the NFL is different this year. If Tom Brady was to play back in the 80s and 90s, he would have definitely left like within 10 years of his career. But now that the NFL is kind of so, yeah, it's so different. I mean, we gotten so soft. Literally, the Pro Bowl game is now a flag football game. That's how soft we're getting, Jay.
Yeah, that's true. We are getting a little soft. I mean, what is it now? We don't even have the Pro Bowl. Well, we have skill competition.
Skill competitions and flag football.
Man, hey, listen, if I want to see skill competition, I'll go down and watch the combine. I'm not going to the combine. Give me the damn real deal. I want the real deal, damn it. Son of a bitch.
If you want skill competitions, you might as well call us up and we'll go there representing our team jerseys and we'll represent them for them. Like, we could do skill competitions, no problem. Or you want to do flag football, send us to do flag football. I love flag football. Shit.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about national championship? You think it's going to be a good game tonight? Think TCU has keep up with Georgia?
Yeah. I know a lot of people think that, but a lot of people have TCU as a Cinderella team. I don't think TCU looks at themselves and they think that they're a Cinderella team. I think that when they look at themselves in the mirror, they look at themselves as a team that deserves to be there, a team that deserves to be in the national title. And I'm not looking past TCU. I know a lot of people are going to look past TCU, and it's easy to look past TCU. But I'm telling you, I think Max Duggan and company, and I think Max Duggan comes to play, and I think that defense comes to play, especially the run defense against this Georgia offense. So, yeah, I do expect them to put up a hard fight, and I do expect them to get the close and narrow win.
What about you, Nate? What do you think about tonight's game?
I think it's going to be more like Georgia and Ohio State. I think they're going to keep it competitive, but I think Georgia will come out with the W. I don't see how TCU can beat them.
I don't know. Maybe you should increase the prescription on your glasses. Maybe are they thick enough? When's the last time you had an eye exam?
What do you think, Frankie?
Yes.
Yeah. You can't even get your microphone.
I can ask you the same question.
Oh, my exam was done last year. It said you're blind as fuck. Have a nice day.
So, Chris, to answer your question, everybody's gonna obviously ride with the Georgia Bulldogs. But for me, this is like the one game where me and Jay are actually on the same side. I think TCU can pull it out. Everybody, like Jay said, everybody thinking that they're a Cinderella team, and TCU sitting there saying we're not a Cinderella team. We're a team that deserves to be here. We fought hard to be here, and hell, why can't we fight hard in the last game of the year to become and call ourselves champions? I think they have all the strength and all the momentum to do it. Let's not forget Georgia's quarterback literally was getting hurt against Ohio State. So is he 100%? I mean, it's been a couple weeks, but is he 100%? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm gonna ride with TCU. I think TCU can honestly pull it out, and I'm not just saying that because Georgia beat my team last year in the championship. I'm saying that just because TCU has more momentum on their side.
Stat guy, is Bowers the tight end for Georgia? Is he playing? I thought he was hurt last game.
He was hurt last game, and he's a game time decision, but he should play. Doesn't mean he's going to be at 100%, but I'm riding with TCU because nobody gave TCU a chance in hell to beat Michigan. And yes, that game was 51-45, but TCU controlled that game start to finish. Michigan did get back in the game, but then TCU not only responded, but they responded from adversity to build a big lead again. Michigan was really never in that game against TCU, and that's the scary part because you look at how TCU played during the season. There wasn't too many games where they controlled a game start to finish. A lot of their games they had to come from behind, and it was in the fourth quarter when they started to play well. And if that's the TCU that they can show us for a full 60 minutes, they can beat anybody in the country. And I think Georgia might take them a little bit lightly, and I think that's going to cost them.
Yeah, absolutely. Most people don't realize, but I'm down here in Savannah, Georgia, and I talk to a lot of people in Georgia about this game. And a lot of people say, as a matter of fact, just about all the people I've talked to have basically said that the national title game has already been played, meaning that Ohio was the national title game. That this game right here is just nothing more than a walkthrough game. That's how Georgia fans look at TCU. A Georgia fan looks at TCU as a walkthrough game to the national title, and that's what I hope. That's what I hope the players think. I hope the players for Georgia look at this as a walkthrough game to the national title. I think that's when TCU can show them we're not a walkthrough game and surprise them, and I hope that happens tonight.
And if you look at last year too, who gave Georgia a better battle in the playoffs last year? It wasn't Alabama. It was Cincinnati that actually played Georgia tougher. In that Cincinnati game, Cincinnati was one big play away from tying that game up in the second half. They just never got that big play.
Right.
So it's not like these small colleges that go up against Georgia fear Georgia, and I think that's the biggest thing with Georgia right now. Like, they face teams like Alabama and these bigger D1 programs, and it's like you have that fear factor because Georgia's been the best team in the nation the last 2 years. But a team like Cincinnati, a team like TCU, they have nothing to lose at this point because no one expected them to be here, so they're going to go in without Georgia at all.
Put your comment back up real quick. Gonzo, put your daddy's comment back up real quick. He said, if you're rooting for TCU, is it so hard to get TCU in capital letters? You put Georgia in capital letters. Why can't TCU be in capital letters? You see, this is what I'm talking about. Everybody's overlooking TCU, and they're going straight to the gate to Georgia.
He did it twice, Jay. He did it twice in one sentence. Respect to Chris Gonzo's dad. I swear, Tony Gonzo, he's the man. But I also want to point that out to Tony.
Man,
I just want to point out to Tony that TCU is also another team. Georgia does wear down teams, but TCU also is a team that wear down teams as well, where they come back and from being down, they come back in the second half when those teams are actually getting hurt or getting tired or anything like that. So don't also outlook TCU to wear down Georgia.
I honestly compare TCU to kind of the Minnesota Vikings of the NFL because
oh my god,
how many games has TCU had one-score games during the regular season? A lot of TCU's games have been one-score games because they have a very explosive offense, but their defense has sucked for a majority of the year. And we really don't know how good TCU ever. Nobody knew how good of a team TCU really was because you never saw both sides of the ball playing up to their ability. You always saw what the offense could do every single week, but you always had a defense that was giving up 30 to 35 points, so you never knew how good TCU really could be. Granted, their defense gave up 45 points to Michigan last week, But throughout the first half of that game against Michigan, you saw how good that TCU team could be because their defense finally stepped up to the level that everyone thought they could be.
Because they tire they tire the offense down.
I think it's going to be a good game, but I have Georgia. I think Georgia's offense is going to be able to put up some points, and I think their defense is going to give TCU some trouble. I know. Hey, TCU played a hell of a game against Michigan, but Michigan also shot themselves in the foot a lot. 2 pick sixes, dumb penalties. I'm not taking nothing away from TCU because they've had a great season. I think it's going to be a real good game, but I think Georgia's going to pull it off in the end. I don't think it's going to be a blowout or anything. And actually, I'd like to see TCU win just because I'd like to see somebody else win national title than the same schools.
All right, that's it. You know what?
Did you see how Gonzo covered himself? He said, I think Georgia will win, but I would lie for TCU. I see what you're doing there, guys. You're covering both sides of the equation.
Okay, I'll change it. TCU's going to get their ass kicked tonight by Georgia.
See, that's so hard. That's so hard.
No, it's not hard. I'm just saying I think Georgia's going to win, but personally, I'd like to see TCU win. I'm not saying that.
Chris, you have officially pissed me off. First saying Garoppolo is going to go to the Jets, and then Tom Brady going to the Raiders, and now this. You've officially pissed me off. For right now, sir, you are hereby fined $200 for unscripted for the shit you've been pulling today.
Hey, I was trying. Hey, I didn't know if you caught that, Frankie. I was trying to allude to that, and I'm glad you picked up on what I was putting down. Good job. What a time to be alive. That's all I'm saying.
I thought I was coming in hot today. Chris coming over here hot but quiet. He's quiet hot over there. Pissing me off in the beginning of the week. The week just started, Chris. Are you pissing me off? Shit, we don't even have a show tonight.
Hey, Frankie, you wasn't here earlier. I'll show you this because you'll think this is cool. Get it where the light ain't on it.
Oh, no way.
Her name's Alice Crowley. She's a women's wrestler out of Indiana. She's been on AEW Dark a lot and been on extra on AEW like Dynamite. But she gets these talent passes and she makes them into magnets. And she came up to us yesterday and said this is the first one she's ever gave away. And she said she had a present for us. She gave us this and she signed it.
That's awesome.
And it has
the
date that she was there and everything.
That's cool as hell.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. She was just on OVW last week, but yeah, I think she'll be in AEW or WWE here pretty soon.
Damn, OVW is still alive. I thought OVW was done with.
Al Snow runs it.
Of course. What does everybody want?
What does everybody need? What does everybody love?
I love Al Snow, man.
Hey, Tony. We're always unscripted. Everyone on this panel, well, except for Nate. Nate hasn't been in there but a handful of times.
Hey, let me ask you guys this, because I've seen some people come out and complain about it.
Actually, I don't think I've ever been on unscripted.
The CPR song.
That's because your team. You have to have at least one team, be a winner for you. That's why.
Oh damn! I didn't want to say that, but damn. Okay, Smokey.
Says the Boston Celtics fan who just got smoked by the Denver Nuggets the other day. So.
You know what's funny? I'm not even a Celtics fan, so I laugh at that. You lose again.
That's true, though, Nate. He is a Lakers fan. But he's a Lakers fan. There's so much more to compliment him on the Lakers. Nate, he's a Lakers fan. You can find all kinds of jokes on that. Hurry up. Find some jokes there.
Go ahead, Nate. Go ahead, because we're on a 5-game winning streak. Go ahead. Try it.
What'd you guys think about the
Hey, tonight will be a joke for y'all.
That's it? That's all you had? God, you're like Mikey Delaney.
Frankie, did you see what he said about the Davis fight? What did you think about the Davis fight?
Hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on. My twins are screaming right now. So
Oh,
give me
damn.
about 2
Hey,
seconds.
Tony, I'm sorry, man. Damn. that was my fault. Tony's like, I know it was your fault, asshole. That's why I'm saying I'm glad I'm not blocked anymore. My bad. I take full responsibility. Hello? Bueller?
You guys
Hello?
there? My internet was cutting out.
How about is that? My mom was cutting out too. Is everybody here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Just not happy I bought it.
Oh no. Okay, so it's Gonzo's internet that was going left and right. Okay. Man, what a time to be alive. Jeez Louise, man. I don't know. I mean, hey, what happens? What is the implication? Let's say if TCU does beat Georgia, they do get the upset. What will be the ripple effect? What will be the after effect of TCU winning the national championship if that happens?
What
I
we're
think
actually
we're gonna
seeing right now in the college football landscape, where Alabama is losing people in the transfer portal to TCU, where Alabama is losing people in the transfer portal to these other programs.
And
TCU
that's kind of what I'm thinking, right?
TCU may not be able to recruit with like Alabama or a lot of these bigger schools, obviously, because they don't have the resources that some of these schools have. But if TCU can show that they can beat Georgia, if they can show that they can beat Michigan and some of these other bigger programs, they're not going to have to out-recruit these teams anymore because they can out-recruit them in the transfer portal then.
Well, that's true. That's true. And I think if TCU, so you saying if TCU wins the national title, it's going to draw more attention to them in terms of getting better draft classes. Is that what you're alluding to?
No, it's going to attract more attention to them in terms of if they can get more people from the transfer portal to come to TCU,
Right.
TCU will be able to establish like long-term success. And once you start that, then you'll start be able to getting all those 4 or 5 star recruits like Alabama has, like Texas has, and like all those other bigger programs.
So then like Big 12 and Pac-12, Big 10, those types of they can all. Are you saying that would they can basically give the SEC a run for their money rather than it being a strongly SEC driven national championship?
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, I swear to God, man, the SEC is always got 2 or 3 teams that are vying for the national, title. And at some point, I want to see,
best conference in college football
get in there. You know what I mean?
And the thing
oh my God, you scooted up on me. I didn't even see you there. I'm sorry.
And
interrupt them.
And the thing with the SEC too is they take a lot of recruits from the state of Texas. So if you do have a team like TCU that is a consistent winner, those recruits that are leaving Texas will now stay in Texas and want to go to TCU.
Right. And I would too, because now they're not paying. Well, they're not paying us to tuition because they're on scholarship. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Damn, what a time to be alive. Deontay, who's winning national title tonight? Who do you have winning? TCU or Georgia?
Yes, I got Georgia all the way.
Get out of here.
And
Get out of
it's
here, you
not-
loser.
Frankie, your team's not in the playoffs.
It don't matter. It don't
We don't
matter.
talk to dudes like that.
It don't
If you
matter.
don't win, if y'all haven't won, don't talk.
It don't matter.
You're a
It don't
Lakers
matter.
and a Pats fan.
You know what, bro? I
Hey.
really stuck with your team. Hold on, Jay. I've stuck with the Chargers since the beginning, and I picked them as my Super Bowl AFC team. And now because of that,
I
you
wouldn't
guys are
even
gonna be
pick
first
them
round out. You guys are gonna be that was because
I
they were
wouldn't be
freaking healthy.
surprised.
That's
I
because
wouldn't
they
be
were healthy. Deontay, that was because they were 100% healthy. All
Y'all
right?
are fully healthy. Y'all build. What have y'all done without Brady?
We were not fully
Ever.
healthy. We were not fully healthy. We don't even got an offensive coordinator. We're not healthy. What are you talking about? We vegetarians.
Shut up, Frankie.
I think it's gonna be closer than a lot of people think. I think TCU's gonna play their hearts out. I just like Georgia. I think Georgia got to do.
But you don't think that you don't think? Have you ever seen the way that Max Duggan commands that team? Have you ever seen the way he runs that team? How
Oh yeah, I
efficient he
like
is?
Max Duggan.
I'll tell you right now, man. Hey, when it comes to, I will say this: if anybody says that Stetson, I've been meaning to ask this question.
I think Doug is better than Stetson.
No, you know what? I'm saving this question. I'm not gonna ask it. But there's a question. And we're gonna answer tomorrow night. Is Stetson Bennett gonna be considered the greatest of all time if he wins back-to-back NCAA titles? But we're not asking that question. It'll be another time. But
I'll never put Stetson Bennett the greatest in anything all time.
I don't know.
Probably the greatest. Look,
if Stetson Bennett gets back-to-back championships, and nobody else has done that, so why should he not be in that conversation?
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence got back-to-backs?
I think he does because I think Deshaun Watson won, and then
I don't think Trevor Lawrence has back-to-back.
No, he only won once.
Yeah,
he only won once.
Clemson.
I know he's got one, but I don't think he's got back-to-back.
He's
Yeah, I think-
back-to-back, but I don't think he's won back-to-back.
Yeah, he lost to Joe Burrow. I
If
think, and he won.
what I'm saying is if Stetson Bennett wins against TCU, then he will have back-to-back.
But I think stats matter too.
Well, I will tell you right now, there's only 5 teams that have ever done that, and Stetson Bennett would be the 5th, or he'll be the number 6 team if he can pull that out, by the way. But anyway.
I think stats matter, though, Jay. And I don't think Bennett got the stats like all the other quarterbacks.
Man, hey, nobody's saying that stats don't matter, but we also aren't saying that the stats are the end-all, be-all either, right?
That's correct also.
If the stats are the end-all, be-all, then we're in sad shape.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that.
We're in sad shape. If the stat and again, that's like saying analytics. You know, should analytics be in baseball? Should analytics be on the pro football field? And I'll tell you, apparently not, because if anybody knows anything, Jim Harbaugh is under investigation at Michigan for having a defensive analyst on the field in game calling situations, and he's under investigation about that. And we'll talk more about that on Unscripted. But I'm telling you, be careful about analytics and how far people are willing to take analytics in this game, in this realm, right?
That's true. A lot of teams have been screwed because of analytics. I'm an example because of that. Last year was an example where the Chargers getting screwed for analytics because Brandon Staley, which I'm calling for his job again because why would you play off and play from yesterday? Yesterday, that was bullshit. Why would you play Mike? I don't get why. If we already locked the 5th seed, you play Mike Williams. Next thing you know, he's banged up. You play Austin Eckler played too long.
Deontay, you know what? I said the same shit about Buffalo. I'm like, why the hell are they playing starters against us? Damn it!
And y'all still lost.
I don't care. Damn.
Hey, real quick.
Nate, why you gotta go there? He said that to you. He said that to you, Deontay, not me.
That's funny.
Hold on.
That's
Hey,
funny.
hold on. Anthony Price. My team is. I'm a UT. I'm a Texas Longhorns. That's my team, Texas Longhorns. But right now, the Longhorns aren't in it, as you all know. But I always say, if there is a Texas team,
He's
then
going
my
for
second loyalty goes to them. So
Jay's
if
a
I
diehard Texan.
Longhorns there, then I go for this. I go for the next best.
Jay's a diehard Texan. That's what he's basically saying.
No,
Yeah,
he's not.
I am a
No, he's
diehard Texan,
No, he's
but
not.
no,
He
I
hates-
always want my UT. I always want UT to be number one. If it
He's
was
not a diehard
UT
Texan.
versus TCU, I'd be going for UT.
See, Jay's happy
Deontay,
already.
that's fake. That's fake news because he hates the Houston Texans and he hates the Texas Rangers. So he's
I
not
ain't gonna lie. He's an Astros fan.
Frankie, I told you my teams are the Rockets, the
I know
Dallas
your team
Stars,
is.
the Dallas
I know your team
Cowboys,
is.
the Houston Astros,
And I'm not
the
gonna lie,
University of Texas Longhorns.
Frankie, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think nobody liked the Houston Texans.
Oh, hell no.
I don't even think the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans.
Not after how they did Lovey.
Oh,
And Nate, you're talking.
no, they
but
did the right thing by Lovey.
Nate,
Lovey
you're
was
talking
never going to
about
be
y'all
the
winning too. It's crazy how a backup quarterback, a perennial backup quarterback, had a better season than your star quarterback y'all traded for.
Woo!
And
What happened? Wait. What was the?
talking
What was
about the
shot
Broncos
fired?
beating the Chargers.
He said,
Oh yeah, that's true.
they said to Deontay, he's like, "Yeah, and I still lost. And my man Deontay came back with fire, like, yo,
It's crazy when Geno Smith outperformed
How
Russell
sad is that?
He broke Russell Wilson's stat.
It's
this
crazy
year.
how Geno Smith. That's what I was about to say.
He
Yeah,
broke
that's
Russell
all
Wilson's
Hackett.
record.
That's all Hackett. He's gone.
He broke Russell Wilson record.
They living on that. I wish Peyton Manning.
Russell
was
Wilson was supposed to break records in Denver.
That's all Hackett. He's
We got a
gone.
picture.
He's gone.
And then y'all don't learn because y'all are going for a defensive coordinator type head coach.
Yeah,
And
that's
y'all
stupid.
can't move the ball last year. But hey, whatever happens,
We got a
happens. with
picture
the
last night.
Broncos.
We got a picture from our
So
sources
again,
last night.
hey,
They caught you. They caught you in bed with a picture of Peyton Manning.
Hold on a minute. Hey, Deontay, let me
What's
ask
up?
you. I know we kind of all have touched on a little bit, but should the Chicago Bears, to say on the number 1 draft pick, should they take Alabama's Anderson at 1, or do they trade back and let somebody else trade up for 1 and then try to get Anderson if he's available at that point?
Oh, I'll trade back. I'll try to get at least 2 or 3 first-round picks, and I'll build the offense around it. So,
But what if they don't give you? Well, they probably will give you first round picks. But how far would you be willing to go back? Because you don't go so far back that you don't get Anderson either.
do you think Anderson is a necessity, or do you think that offense is a necessity? I think you should.
I think at
defense.
that point, Anderson
It's the
is a
defense.
necessary thing because I think offensive linemen can be gathered up towards maybe the end, maybe more towards the end of the first round.
I'm not thinking about the line.
I would take Anderson. I would take Anderson. And let's say, for example, Seattle. What if Seattle wants to trade up? Okay, I'll trade my number 1 for your number 1. I'll trade back, but I want an extra number 1 or a number 2 pick, something like that thrown in as an incentive.
I would still like, if I was the Bears, I'll still like to
do
be in the top 5, at least top 7, at the most, at least in the top 7. If you could.
Well, let me
Because
go
you still got-
let me go to stat guy real quick on that. Stat guy, if they trade back, they should get at least they should have at least 2 number 1 picks out of that, right? Their current number 1 pick that they swap with
It
Seattle.
depends how much is a need.
If the Bears trade back, the only team that I could see them trading back with is Seattle because Seattle has the number 3 pick and the number 12 pick.
Right. So I would say, okay, if you want the number 1, then I want your number 3 and I want your number 12.
Seattle would do it. Seattle would do it because they want a quarterback. They know
And I
exactly.
would do it too because I think at number 3, I think Anderson will be
Will
there.
Anderson's going to be there at number 3 because Bears don't need a quarterback. They have a quarterback.
Texans are getting a quarterback.
Texans are going to take Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, whoever Seattle doesn't take at number 1. Bryce Young and CJ Stroud are going 1 and 2.
Right. So if I get because Houston don't have number now, Houston will take a quarterback.
Houston
So
and
Seattle
Seattle
will take
will
a
both.
quarterback. Houston will take a quarterback. At number 3, Anderson would be there. And then at number 12, you cannot tell me that there's not a top-ranked offensive lineman.
The guy from Northwestern.
I'll get some wide receiver talent with Justin Fields because
Bears are going to get wide. Bears are going to spend money.
Offensive line.
you think they're going to spend money on the wide?
Bears are going to spend money. Bears are going to spend money. Bears are going to spend money in free agency to fix the offense. They're going to use the draft to fix that defense. That's what they're going to do.
They do that. That's smart
So
because they do got a big ass cap
So
space.
let me ask you that. You have that answer obviously at the ready. Who do they go after then to fix that offensive line?
The guy from Northwestern, if he's there at number 12. I can't remember his last name.
That's what I'm saying. So you go defense with the number 3 pick, and then if at number 12 pick you go offensive line.
Yep. And then in the second round you go secondary. And then in the third round, you go either defensive line because you're going to need a pass rusher and a run stuffer. And then once you get to round 4, it becomes kind of a best player available type of thing.
So you're doing Anderson, and then you're doing
the guy,
offensive lineman at 12.
And then you go defensive tackle and secondary in round 2 and 3.
Right. But you're definitely going offensive lineman at number 12 after you got Anderson at number 3.
Yep.
And that's what I would do too, and that's why I was asking about that because I think those are your 2 biggest needs. I think pass rush and I think offensive protection for Fields have got to be your 2 biggest priorities in this draft. Does anybody else have that different?
No, I believe they go through the offseason. The first thing they're thinking about is how they're going to protect Justin Fields, which that guy might be because they do have a big cap space. They're going to go in there and most likely try to fix up their offense. And then defensively, yeah, because you got rid of Roquan, you got rid of
Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, and Robert Quinn. Your three best pass rushers you all got rid of since August.
So it's most likely
Will Anderson is that pass rusher that you need to at least replace Robert Quinn. Offensive line has been a turnstile for the Bears, so they need at least another offensive lineman to protect Fields.
You wouldn't like Jalen Carter on the Bears?
Jalen Carter, I would, but at the same time, Will Anderson is a better pass rusher. Jalen Carter is more of a run stuffer that gets his sacks by kind of pressuring the backfield versus Will Anderson can be like that Robert Quinn. He can be like that Khalil Mack and one of those edge rushers that you can count on to get you double-digit sacks.
Because I believe those, if the Bears trade, and I believe one of those two is going to be the first non-quarterback pickup. It's going to be between Will Anderson and Jalen Carter. Yeah. I think they're very close.
The thing with Jalen Carter that I don't like, and I think it's going to come full circle tonight, Jalen Carter's lazy.
It's hell.
And that's something that the Bears
he misses play. He skips.
And that's something the Bears are not going to go for in a first-round pick. Will Anderson is not lazy. Will Anderson, it seems to every time you watch Will Anderson on film, it's like every single play he ends up around the ball. Even if he's on the other side of the field, no matter where that ball is, he seems to be over there versus Jalen Carter is very lazy. And if you watch his game against Ohio State, he did not play well against Ohio State at all.
Why are we talking about players going to the Bears? Who cares about the damn Bears?
Don't have Mike in here.
I wish he wasn't here.
No, but I definitely think that the Bears could come away with some really good stuff. Like Stat Guy said, if he could pull that off, where they could pull off the 3 and the 12 pick for the number 1 pick, that would be ginormous in terms of helping their team. And that would be huge.
Yeah, because Seattle's probably the only team that's going to go for a quarterback in that top 10. Most likely, it's Seattle, the only team it's a high possibility. They're the highest to go for a quarterback.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because at that point, then they would have their choice of Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud or Dugan if they feel like, Dugan should get that high. I'll tell you, man, I think Max Duggan is going to be that quarterback that people are going to overlook, and that's going to be the guy that comes out and surprises a lot of people in the NFL.
Oh, I got a question, guys. Since we're talking about college, why is Will Levis is getting so much hype?
I don't know. I'm not sold on Will Levis at all.
Because he plays in the SEC and he puts up good numbers. That's why.
Yeah.
I don't think he is as good as everybody make him seem. I don't think he's like a top 10 talent. How people are saying he can come out there like Stroud and Young. I don't think he's that good. That's personally me. I think he's like Zach Wilson. Like, how Zach Wilson had that one pro day throw and everybody was like, oh, that's the next Aaron Rodgers. And then he looked screwed.
Yeah, because anybody can throw passes like that in an empty field with no defense on you.
Facts. It's all about, can you read the defense?
Exactly.
I don't think Will Levy has that. I don't think he's good enough. If he probably sits, I can't say nothing. But I don't think he's there to be like a top 10 how everybody trying to make it seem. The hype train. I think it's two first round quarterbacks. I'm not gonna say two. I think it's 2 top 10 quarterbacks, and that's it.
Let me ask you guys a question, man. And I know we're kind of hopping around all over the place, but I want to go back real quick, if I can, to the Arizona Cardinals situation over there. They fired Cliff Kingsbury. Okay. Everybody's been saying for a hot minute how Cliff Kingsbury should be out as head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, who do we put in place to bring that team back to where it needs to be? If you had an opportunity, who would you bring in? And we're going to go around the horn on that. So Nate, your Arizona Cardinals, you just fired your GM and you just fired your president. Who are you looking at? We don't know GM so much, but who would you look for at the very least at the coaching position?
something tells me, and I don't know why, but I have a feeling they might be going for Sean Payton as the head coach.
Fuck out of here.
As,
He's coming over.
but I would probably go with.
He got mad.
They don't have draft capital, so I have a feeling they might be going for somebody that does already have head coaching experience. So I would probably say maybe.
I think Jim Caldwell.
Yeah,
I think that's the best
I think Caldwell goes back to the Colts.
Hey, I just want to throw this out here. Marvin Lewis said he wants to try and come back into the NFL as well.
Don't get me cussing in here, Frankie.
Oh, please do so. That's the reason I said
Marvin Lewis, bro.
go after Jim Harbaugh.
Don't get me wrong. I like Marvin Lewis, but if they're trying to win a Super Bowl,
bring him to the Broncos.
Hold on. So who we're looking at? So I've heard a few names thrown out, like Jim Caldwell, but is that who we're looking at mainly? Is Jim Caldwell? Who else would we be looking for the Arizona head coaching job besides that?
I think Eric Bieniemy will get a shot.
I like Bieniemy. I think that's a good one.
I like Bieniemy.
I think Jim Caldwell ends up going back to Indianapolis just because of the history that he has with the Colts, and I think Bieniemy will finally be given the opportunity to be a head coach, and I like Arizona as a place for him because I think he can do a lot with Kyler Murray, a lot more than what Kingsbury got out of him.
So where y'all think D'Amico Ryan's going to go then? They're going after – if they go after –
I get D'Amico Ryan. I think
you give Jay a favor.
D'Amico Ryan even had a head – has he had a coordinating position already?
Yeah, he's the defensive coordinator in Frisco right now.
Yeah, they're the number one.
Okay, so it's Frisco. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be interviewed. Who did he interview with? Maybe Carolina's looking for a coach. I think Carolina should bring him in. I think,
but Anthony got a point though. They could be thinking about Kellen Moore. They could be talking about Kellen Moore in Dallas too as well, because Kellen Moore, they have one. People, I don't know why, but the NFL loves Kellen Moore.
I don't know why either, because Dallas Cowboys hate Kellen Moore, so they can have him. And McCarthy, but if you take Moore, you got to take McCarthy with him. So it's a 2-for-1. We're not just you're not just getting
2-for-1
special. You're getting a 2-for-1.
Yeah, I think D'Amico Ryan's ends up in Carolina.
Oh, Gonzo, you think Jim Caldwell gonna go back to Indianapolis?
I think there's a chance, but I also think they're going to go. They might try to get Jim Harbaugh if they.
I don't think Jim Harbaugh wants to leave Michigan.
After the investigations that are about to come under Jim Harbaugh, he might not have a choice.
But Jim Harbaugh even said, and Denver's already said that they were lining up conversations to talk to Jim Harbaugh.
Denver's trying to talk to anybody.
So, and I think you're right. I think if Harbaugh stays in college, he's probably going to get at least a 5.
That wasn't a shot at you,
especially
for NCAA violations.
Especially after the last 2 games, I think they should keep Jerry Rosenberg.
Dan Quinn could be a possible option out there too.
Nobody wants Dan. You seen that 28-3? I wouldn't want Dan Quinn.
Hey! Shut your mouth, Deontay.
I wouldn't want Dan Quinn
reformed. He's reformed and he's doing great things right now.
And yeah, Dallas defense is good. He's a good defensive coordinator. He's one of them guys.
He is. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't need to be a head coach. He's good at the defensive coordinator level.
He's the Josh McDaniels of the NFC.
Thank you. Now we're on the same page. Jeez. I was worried about you.
I wouldn't say that because he actually made it to the Super Bowl. Josh McDaniels haven't. He's just been made to the fireboard. That's all.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels. He's gonna be y'all coach when he come back, frankly. When Bill retired, that's y'all coach. Nobody wants to go there in New England.
I think Frankie would take him in with open arms at this point.
He probably would. I
100% would take Josh McDaniels back. He's the only guy. He's the only guy next to Bill Belichick who knows our entire system better than anyone. But anyway, the Dallas Cowboys are going to be a first-round knockout by the Golden Tigers.
Hey, you hush your mouth. You hush your damn mouth out there. Look, Frankie, just because your team sucks is not in it doesn't mean you can't support my team, okay? Now I need some support while your team's not in
Who
it.
wants to support your team?
I ain't supporting anybody's team.
You're
It's gonna be a
supporting
first-round
my
knockout.
team. Nobody
Your
cares
first
about
round
Denver.
knockout.
Nobody cares about the Patriots. Damn it.
Yeah, and nobody besides Dallas fans care about Dallas.
Ooh.
Hey, there's a lot. That's actually so not true, right? And Nate, the fact that you said that, and you should know better because hell, every damn state I go to has a Cowboy representative there at some level.
They actually do.
A Cowboy fan.
They're not the most hated.
That's no. Hold on.
They're not the most hated team in
fan.
football.
Nobody.
Fans, pluralize that shit.
Fans, okay.
We have the number one power-based fan
That's
group
not-
in all of the NFL.
That is
I can't talk about
what I
fan
said.
bases because I'm
I
a
said
Chargers fan.
Anyone that is not a Cowboys fan doesn't like the Cowboys.
I have no problem with
And
them.
we don't care.
I
Do
think
we care?
I have no problem with. I have no problem with the
You
Cowboys.
brought that up for what reason? What was the reasoning behind that, Nate? What were you trying to
Now we all
evoke?
had Jason
What
Garrett.
kind
I
of
couldn't
emotion
stand
were you
him.
trying to evoke out of me? Because that's, you know what? I don't like you, Nate. You're being really mean tonight. You're being very mean, and I don't appreciate it.
Hey,
You
Jay.
may want to apologize.
But Stat God, I got
When's
who
the-
y'all think
when's the
Houston's
last
going
time
to go
that big
after?
fan base got you guys a Super Bowl?
Who do I think Houston's going to go after, Deontay?
Yeah,
Asshole.
Brian Flores.
you said Todd Bowles,
Brian Flores.
Ooh,
No, Brian Flores right now, he's being interviewed for a defensive coordinator.
I know he's being interviewed for the defensive coordinator job, but if Houston
Don't fucking
calls,
do not interrupt me. Let me finish what I gotta say.
well, I thought you were done. I thought you were done. I thought you were done,
I
Frankie.
was the one being.
angry Boston fans. Angry Boston
No, because
fans.
I'm sick of these Minnesota Viking fans thinking they could come in here and waltz their way in like they're gonna
Hey,
go and do something. It's not
they
happening.
I can't talk. They got a better record than us.
Frankie,
You know
Frankie, I
what?
really
And
thought you
what?
were
You're gonna
done.
make it, and you're gonna make it farther than they are. So
Ooh. You know what? I like our rematch against Jacksonville, but Trevor Lawrence been playing great football, so it's gonna be a hard one.
Frankie, I thought you were done.
I'm a rational fan.
no,
You
go
know,
ahead. Yeah, no. He is being interviewed. I think it was for the Cleveland Browns defensive coordinator position. But
Yeah.
go ahead, Dustin.
If they interview him for the defensive coordinator position, in which they plan on doing it, but if Houston calls Brian Flores up like 2 days later and say, "Hey, we want you to come down here and interview for the head coaching job," I'm sorry, Cleveland, but you ain't getting him as your D coordinator.
Yeah, you're not getting it. And I don't think he takes it right off the bat. I think he waits to see if there's other head coaching jobs
Yeah.
out there before he takes that type of position. And then if I was the Houston Texans and Brian Flores is out there a second go around, you better nab his ass and bring him in. I'm just telling you.
Realistically, as much as I would,
I
love
think
to
they
see
should
Brian
not fire
Flores-
Lovey.
Yeah, they should.
No, they had a reason to fire him.
I said it before
Lovey was never
Frankie
the
popped
guy.
in. I said it before Frankie popped into the show that I think Lovie Smith got fired because they lost the number 1 pick.
That's exactly why they fired him.
I
That's
guarantee
exactly
you
the
that's why
truth.
he got fired.
Like,
but
why-
again,
'Cause he
I
wants
don't
to
think
win.
it matters. I think
That's
whether they get the
crazy.
number 1
But
pick or
I
not,
can't.
they're still going to get a head coach. I mean, think about it. They're either going to get C.J. Stroud or they're going to get Bryce Young at the number 2 spot. And I don't really think if Chicago doesn't pull that off, I don't think Chicago's going to take a quarterback. I think Chicago takes Anderson at the number 1. I think Houston will still get either Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud at number 2. Houston's going to get the quarterback of the future at number 2. I promise you they will get the quarterback of the future. They don't have to do anything.
But
just-
Houston, they're gonna screw it up like they do.
Hey,
Worst organization.
Oh, are you about to defend Houston? Are you about to defend Houston right now? Go ahead, Jay. Go
Hush
ahead.
your mouth. Hush your mouth. Hush your mouth. I do defend Houston. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I'm just saying, hey, my Cowboys, we're like down at like what, number 27, 28. It don't matter. So whatever.
Listen, I just want to know who's going to be projected for number 14. That's all I want to know.
Hey, hold on a minute now. Listen. Hold on now, Tony. Again, I'm not about to defend Houston, but I'm not going to just let somebody trash where I'm from either. Listen.
No, he's not. He's not talking about the Texans, Jay. He's talking about the Astros.
Huh?
He's talking about the Astros. You didn't see the comment he put before that? It's about the Astros.
I don't know, but you know what? All I got to say is two things. I just got two things to say. That's it. Just two. Just two. Okay, fine. I'll say what I still love you, though, Tony. You're still my boy, Boo Boo.
No, I'm just messing with you. I don't know if he was talking about the Astros.
It says Sean Payton is going to Denver. I don't think. Does anybody have Sean Payton locked? I think he visits Denver. I don't think he's locked into Denver though.
I want us to
Listen,
lose.
Sean-
I want us to lose
Sean-
the wild card so we could get Sean Payton. That's
Sean
what I'm saying.
Payton is going to be the number one coach that everybody's going to look at. So I wouldn't be surprised if this man is literally on a private jet going to different countries right now, or different
you know
cities.
Oh,
And he's
you
just
know
like-
it. If I was him, I'd be milking. Oh, you want to talk to me? Well, you can get me a ticket to Italy, and we'll talk.
Astros just won the World Series, Damian.
I'd be all over the place.
He's
Yeah,
on
Astros
your,
just won the World Series, bro. Like, you need to
Frankie.
chill out.
I've been ignoring most of Damien's comments ever since he said about Nathaniel Hackett.
Frankie,
Yes, that guy.
to answer your question, Kelly Ringo, the cornerback out of Georgia, is predicted to go 14th.
Hey, we need a cornerback.
I like Marcus Jones and Jonathan.
We got them, but we got some other quarterbacks that are probably leaving, like Jake Jones, who just got suspended. Most likely look like he's going to be gone. Devin McCourty, he's going to be gone. I don't even know if Jalen Mills is going to return with the Patriots because his 2-year contract is up. So we got some empty spots right there for a cornerback position.
I think. You think you guys shouldn't go for skill instead of corner?
They
Instead
have
of defense?
they have plenty of skill. They have Ramadre Stevenson, who's
I
an
love
underrated
Ramondre
running back.
Stevens.
They have
Underrated running back.
They have Jacoby Myers, Nelson Aguilar, and Devontae Parker, who
You
all
can't-
put up
you-
decent numbers this year.
You
Not
can't
great,
tell me. You
decent.
can't tell me Nelson Aguilar. I like Devontae Parker. Nelson.
They
No,
still have
Nelson-
that. They still have
Nelson
Tyquan. They have Tyquan Thornton, who was a rookie this year, who will probably be more implemented into that offense next year. They still have Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith as tight ends. They
I
have
don't even
plenty
wanna
of
hear
skill
Jonnu
position.
Smith's name. I don't want to hear Jonnu Smith's name. We're wasting money on him, and he hasn't shown up yet.
They do have
Nelson-
plenty of skill position talent. They just need to
Nelson
get some players out of it.
Aguilar.
Gonzo, who you
Nelson
think y'all
Aguilar
believe
is
y'all
a
going
free
for in the
agent.
draft?
Gonzo don't care. He know next
don't
year's
know.
still not the year.
I kind
Gonzo's-
of think the Colts. I kind of think the Colts are going to move back in the probably move back in the draft because I still think
Knowing
the Colts
Irsay,
Derek Carr.
knowing Irsay and who he is, he will tank so he can get the first pick next year. He will just put the worst lineup possible just to get the first.
Hey, I got breaking
draft.
news.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
DeMar Hamlin has been discharged from the hospital and he's on his way back to Buffalo.
That's a great thing. That's a great thing.
We're so happy. We're so
Hey,
happy.
but I want
Fuck
y'all to know
Buffalo.
that when it
Fuck
happened,
Buffalo.
hey, I want y'all to know that when that tragedy happened, I said, hey, before we get too far down the tragedy train, let's remember he still has a heartbeat. And if you have a heartbeat, God can do miraculous things. And look what happened. He did
That is
miraculous
true.
things.
You're-
And now he's going home. So,
And you know what?
man, what a time to be alive. What
Let's
a time
also-
to be alive.
And let's also not forget that he's a Buffalo Bills player. So fuck the Bills. We love you,
Yeah,
DeMar
fuck
Hamlin, but fuck the Bills.
Yeah, fuck the Bills, but we love you, DeMar. We love you as a person. We hate your
we're
team.
glad. We're glad.
We love you. We love you. Don't get it twisted. If you become the Cowboys, I'll love you even more. It's all good, whatever.
What?
What?
Jay- oh my god.
What? Who said what? I didn't say nothing. We talking about? Hey.
If you were a cowboy, we love you more.
Yeah,
No, we
how is
wouldn't.
that cup that you're
We
drinking,
wouldn't.
bro?
None of us would love him more if he was a cowboy. We don't even
Yes,
like
we
his
would.
franchise.
Yes, we would. I spoke for everybody. I'm glad y'all saw how I put that in there. But yeah, okay, fine, whatever.
But I honestly believe Sean Payton, he's a Charger. He's going to the Chargers. Especially
so?
with Staley, first off.
No, it's Sean Payton's
He's
going to
so
Dallas.
hot.
If he goes to Dallas,
I
either
don't
Dallas
think
or Los
Dallas.
Angeles. It's Dallas or Los Angeles. Dallas seems like him because that's his team, but
yeah,
Mr.
and
Herbert.
I hope he does. I think that would be the first person that maybe Jerry Jones might actually listen
You guys
to.
are crazy.
Colts are most likely. I'm surprised Colts are probably not going to go for a quarterback. but they're not.
Sean Payton will go to the Arizona Cardinals for one reason and one reason only. He has Kyler Murray with Devontae Adams, or not Devontae Adams, I'm sorry, with DeAndre Hopkins and
I'm about to
Hollywood
say,
Brown.
what the hell?
And Hollywood Brown. He can make a perfect combination offense with those three players that I think that all he has to worry about is the defensive side. And if he just worries about that, the Cardinals are all set. And that's
But
that's the best option
I
for
can't
him.
believe
Sean Payton's going to end up with the Colts. Sean Payton's going to end up with the Colts.
Why would he want to do that, Chris? He don't want to come back to be a loser.
Actually, you want to be honest with you? That's the best. If you go to the Colts,
he really
that's the
doesn't
best
want to
chance
be a
to win the
loser.
division.
Chris.
To the Colts, that's the best chance to
Back to
win
the
the
Colts.
division. If he wins, he'll win the division almost every year if he plays for the Colts. If he coaches the Colts. I say because Dallas, you still got
Frankie over there talking like
about
he's
Sean Payton coming to the
hey,
Colts
hey,
and winning the
listen, if
division.
you're over there with the mafia connections, Frankie, man, dang.
Well,
They don't
there's one reason why he's not going to end up in Denver, and Nate should know this, being a Broncos fan.
Russell Wilson,
No, who's the defensive coordinator that Sean Payton wants on his staff?
Vic Fangio, but I think
Exactly. He was just in Denver. There's no way he's going to Denver after Vic Fangio got fired from Denver.
Yeah.
Well,
Vic Fangio's his guy.
Sean Payton was Fangio. Wait, hold on. If Sean Payton wanted Fangio on his staff, I think Denver's going to do what he would say. I don't think they.
But why would Fangio want to go back to Denver though? After they fired Fangio for really no apparent reason.
Well,
Fangio did better than what they had this year.
I think Fangio does come back on his staff. I think he does come back on his staff, and I don't think Denver will have an issue with that because they know Sean Payton knows what he's doing, and they're invested in Sean Payton. They're not investing in Nick Fangio. He just happens to be a part of it, right?
I was actually saying that I don't think Sean
say that
Payton
name
will go
again.
there.
What's his name?
I don't think Sean Payton will go there because they traded so much to get Russell Wilson. Look how that's going.
But that's on Nathaniel Hackett, though. That ain't on Russell Wilson.
I agree with you, but I don't think that they're going to give up that much to get Sean Payton. I don't think it's worth it, to be honest.
No.
Why are we talking about the Denver Broncos? It don't matter who they're gonna get; they're still gonna suck. Why are we talking about them too?
I didn't think it was interesting, though. I didn't think it was interesting.
We're talking about a bunch of.
But I did think it was kind of funny when
let's go back to the Chargers.
I did think it was kind of funny though that when they were talking to Harbaugh told Carolina, "Well, it's not really a job interview." And then he says, "Well, I'm proud to look forward to the 2023 season at Michigan." And then after that one, then you see, well, now Denver is talking to Harbaugh about the head coach and vacancy, and I'm like, damn, okay, well, which way is this going to go?
Well, didn't news come out this morning that he was actually in line for the Arizona Cardinals head coaching job?
Yeah, and the Colts also.
Yeah, so if he's in line for the Cardinals head coaching job, then why wouldn't Sean Payton come in and say, "Hey, let's both go to Arizona. You run my defense. I be the head coach. It'll work out."
Well,
I think Harbaugh is going to be a head coach somewhere. If Sean Payton is the main target and Harbaugh is available, Harbaugh is second.
I don't necessarily think Harbaugh finishes second because everywhere Jim Harbaugh has gone, he's had instant success. Going back to his days at University of San Diego, the only 3 winning seasons that program has ever had, John Harbaugh was the coach. Went to Stanford, made Stanford a perennial top 5 program when he was there. Leaves Stanford, goes to San Francisco, gets them to the Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick. And then he goes back to college in Michigan, and outside of maybe 1 or 2 bad years at Michigan, he's had success everywhere he's gone.
No, that's true. That's good points. I mean, honestly, all of that's good points. And I think if you get Sean Payton or if you get Harbaugh, either one of those 2 coaches are going to get you where you need to go, right? I mean, they're both going to get you to the same destination. They might get you there different ways, but I think they both get you to the same destination. So I think no matter who you interview or who you take, you're not going to go wrong with either one of those selections. And I don't think you go wrong with bringing in a guy like Flores. I'll put him on the same level as those guys. So
The reason I
Flores
lean
out there,
toward-
Bieniemy's out there, Caldwell is out there. I mean, there's a lot of good candidates that are out there.
The reason I kind of lean toward Harbaugh over Peyton is because with Peyton, yeah, he's had a lot of success, but he was in New Orleans and had the same quarterback almost the whole time. With Harbaugh, he like Dustin said, he's been at different places with different quarterbacks and has had success. So that's why I
Right.
kind of lean toward Harbaugh more than I do Peyton.
And then if you are an assistant guy, do you start looking to try to bring in like a Peyton Manning, either as an offensive coordinator or as a quarterbacks coach? I mean, would he be open to something like that? I know we've heard Peyton Manning's name in conversations before.
It wouldn't
Man,
surprise
he's
me.
busy. Isn't he part of the Isn't he part of the University of Tennessee in some type of way?
I don't know if he's like hired by Tennessee or anything. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, Sean Payton has already confirmed that he's trying to get Peyton Manning on as his offensive coordinator.
Because I think that would be phenomenal if that could happen. That would be phenomenal.
But
I'm telling you
That's
now,
stupid.
whoever
That's stupid.
is going to be good.
But I think with Jim Harbaugh, I think is more of the scheme. For example, I think the Colts is a good scheme because his scheme is defense and run heavy. I think with Jim Harbaugh, if you're going to look at the scheme, Sean Payton, you're going to look at the scheme because Sean Payton is more of a quarterback, have yardage in his play. So it's all about the scheme, what you're going to use. Eric Bieniemy, the only reason is because the Patrick Mahomes and the Andy Reid play calling. They're say Andy Reid scheme is Andy Reid's scheme and the coaching tree. So it's going to be a tricky. I think this coaching run is going to be all about scheme. It's going to be like who's the best scheme for their offense. I think personally, Sean Payton in Denver. I think Russell Wilson's best scheme, honestly, is Jim Harbaugh because they can run the ball with heavy. Javonte Williams will come back from injury, and then they can do a run heavy play action pass where Russell Wilson is running off bootlegs and he's improvising more, and they can actually play better because when Nathaniel Hackett gone, I know I hate Denver, but Russell Wilson played better without Hackett there. I will give him that. He started playing better and better.
I got no hate for the Indianapolis Colts. Right? I think, once they get the right coach in that system, they'll be okay. But
because they're very competitive.
And not just that, they are competitive. But the one gap that they're missing is a quarterback. They need a solid quarterback. They don't need a Matt Ryan. They don't need whoever their
game manager.
Is. Yeah, they don't need no Nick Folk apparently. So they need that one steady quarterback. Maybe buff up the offensive line a little bit because we have been seeing the offensive line not really good, and people are pressuring the quarterbacks on the Colts. I've been for me myself, I've been seeing that.
But in their defense, the offensive line been banged up too. Quentin Nelson's been banged up. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They need to buff that up a little bit more because
healthy Quentin Nelson is a top 3 offensive lineman in football. So I think it's more the Colts been banged up too, and also they need Michael Pittman Jr. is improved and he's showed that he can be a very solid receiver in this league. I like the Philip Dorsetts. I think the Colts need to go for a number 1 receiver also, or not at least number 1, a receiver that can make plays other than Michael Pittman Jr. Because sometimes the Colts' problem was they cannot make separation off the wide receiver play, and wide receiver play was one of the weakest parts in the Colts' offense.
All right, hey guys, we're about 4 hours away from national championship kickoff. I know we guys have got to get on the show going. Let's go ahead and wrap it up with some final thoughts, and let's plug up on out of here. Nate, you start us off. Gonzo, you take us home. Final thoughts, Nate.
I don't care who Denver gets with as their head coach. There is no one, and I repeat, no one that can be worse than Nathaniel Hackett.
There's Adam Gase.
That's not true. That's not true. There's Urban Meyer. I think Urban Meyer might have been worse than Hackett.
You got Urban Meyer. You got Adam Gase.
Okay. Hold on, guys. Hold on. It's not Nate's fault. That was a dumb choice of words, Nate. You get one more shot at final thoughts. We got to move on. Final thoughts one more time.
Final thoughts is moving away from football. I'm excited to see what's going on in the basketball side of things, and transferring to later this week I will be interviewing a guy in college football that will that has attended over 70 football games this season on college football. His name's Ben Chase. Is going to look him up either Wednesday or Thursday. Time has not been locked in yet, but I will be interviewing him sometime later this week.
All right, man. My final thoughts are basically go Astros. Number 2, go Pearland. And number 3, catch Unscripted tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And catch us on Twitter at Unscripted Guys. All one word on Twitter. Man, what a time. Let's go. Frankie, final thoughts.
I don't even know why you bring in the Astros. That's not even the time nor the podcast place for that. If you want to go ahead and do your final thoughts on the Astros, next time you come up on the morning show with Chris and the baseball around the bases type shit. But for my final thoughts, man, we're in playoffs, baby. Playoffs is here. I'm chilling on the couch. I'm gonna enjoy watching your guys' teams in the playoffs. Hopefully, some of you guys move pretty far into the playoffs. Except for the Dallas Cowboys. I know they're not going to because they got to deal with the GOAT. But I'm sitting here waiting for the draft, and I'm waiting for tonight's basketball game with the Lakers against the Denver Nuggets. It's going to be a good game, hopefully.
Oh, that will be a good game.
Lakers coming on a 5-game winning streak, and LeBron has honestly turned it around since turning 37. Yeah, man. I'm also keeping a real close eye on hockey. I've been turning around to hockey lately, and the Boston Bruins are looking great, baby. We are looking great. And then I'm just sitting here waiting for my twin brother, Frankie the Yankee, to come back from vacation. He's over there in Tampa, Florida, getting ready for spring training and stuff like that. So waiting for him to come back in April and turn up everybody's momentum and getting them hot.
Hey, remember, it was the Houston Astros that put your ass over there on the couch in spring training.
Ooh.
Remember that, baby. Remember that. Deontay, as we move on from these loser Yankees, they got swept. What's up, baby? Final thoughts?
You must be talking about my twin brother. Sorry, not me. I'll let him know.
Up, baby.
Well, it's playoff time Saturday, 5:15. We're going to Jacksonville for our rematch. Bolt up. Herbert, I'm not worried about Herbert. Staley, please, coach, a proper game. Please. Staley and Joe Lombardi. I'm just asking one favor for y'all. One.
I miss you guys in San Diego, man. I miss the little San Diego Superchargers. That was that.
San Diego has done nothing but hurt me.
You noticed every wild-card game is a rematch?
I want us to honestly, I pray Baltimore won so they can get the seed.
Hey.
And we can go to Cincy. I'd rather go to Cincy. We play better against Cincy.
Deontay.
Than we do against but Bolt up.
It was Stat Guy's turn.
I'm sorry, Bolt up.
It's still his final thought.
He can finish up. I'm not in any hurry.
He went final thought. He want to do double final thoughts.
It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game.
I didn't say do double final thoughts. Look, you had one shot to get it all out. Okay, it's like farting. You get it all out the first part. You wait till tomorrow.
Deontay, he's just mad because you're gonna make it to the divisional round.
I could.
Hey, that might be true. That might be true.
My stuff reset. So bolt up and good show, you guys.
Boom, walking away with 3 final thoughts. How about that, Jay? Suck it. Go ahead, Stat Guy. Your final thought.
Well, if the NFL playoffs are anything like the way the regular season was, I think it's going to be one of the best playoffs that we've ever seen, and I think it's going to be one of those situations where you can expect the unexpected.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. That is actually very true. Gonzo.
No, my final thoughts. I agree. I think it's going to be a great NFL playoffs. You got a whole lot. I don't know. You got more teams this year that feel like they have a chance to win it than we've had in some of the past years, where you have your one or two favorites that you think are dominant. This year's more wide open. Join us about 10, 15 minutes. We'll be live with Easy Money, a sports betting show. We'll give out our picks tonight for tonight's national championship game, the NBA schedule, hockey, college basketball, all that stuff. And then we'll see you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern for another episode of the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. I want to thank Jay, Nate, Frankie, Deontay, Stat Guy, Mike Hughes, everybody that joined today. And we'll see you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern.